With the butt kicker gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt kicker. The future is feeling.
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane, press and hold your reset button, and we'll come and get you.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original eSport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello and welcome once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, special treat for you. We've got the Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triple Threat for you coming right at you. Gonna have 25 laps here at the Roval. Then we will head off to the high banks right there in the distance here at Charlotte Motorspeedway. Then back off across the street. That's right, driver's gonna climb out the cars, make the short walk right across the 4-lane highway to a very great dirt track, in my personal opinion, the dirt track at Charlotte. And man, I tell you what, gonna be a great night. Some great prizes up for grabs as well. Thank you for joining us here. I am Darkside Dave in the cave here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth. Got my good buddy and co-host here tonight, Wesley Outland. Wesley, how you doing out there? How you feeling, man?
I'm doing great. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful Halloween Eve night as well, as we get ready for the triple threat, as you said, the trick or treat triples here on Turn 3 Racing Network. In addition, we will have them on the Roval for 20 laps. Then they will go around the mile-and-a-half mecca of motorsports at America's Home for Racing. Then it's onto the clay at the 4/10 mile dirt track at Charlotte Motorspeedway. Money on the line, bragging rights on the line for this historic event. 3 races in one night. Katie bar the door, Dave. It should be a good one here on Turn 3 Racing Network from Charlotte.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to a great night of racing here with all 3 different styles here kind of wrapped up in one night. You got the road course side of things, the oval, of course, and then the dirt track right across the street. Gonna put these drivers' skills to the test across multiple platforms of the iRacing servers. So gonna be interesting to see who's got it and who can get the job done each time as the checkered flag flies here in happy hour. Things getting ready to get kicked off in the 10-minute qualifying session here in the first event in the Trick or Treat Triples, brought to you by Outlaw eSports and Phantom Graphics. And Wesley, I tell you what, it's going to be a pretty quick qualifying session. I expect a lot of drivers to jump out there very fast, very early here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of laps that they're able to put down here on the racetrack. As again, normally when you're on the road course, you normally get 1 lap. Your best lap of time will set the field for where you'll be for your race. And again, while you're preparing for the big race coming up, as we see Ricky Howell from Radford, Virginia, in his number 2 truck, working his way around the racetrack. He's also got the 19 in front of him of one of the Mains family for Elliott Sadler Esports. Right there is qualifying underway. Normally it's abnormal to see these trucks very, very close together for qualifying. Hopefully they can get some separation amongst them so they work their way up the high banks into turn number 2 on the regular part of the speedway. But again, you get that 1 lap to put down that best lap to lock in the race, and from there on we set ourselves up as they work their way through the bus stop, Dave, for that 20-lap feature.
Yeah, and interesting to see that 2 machine of Ricky Howell Jr. isn't building a little bit more of a gap, a little bit more of a buffer zone between himself and, as I say that, that's exactly what he's doing to the driver in front of him, getting a little bit of distance, just in case there's a mishap. You don't want to have to jump out of the gas too much. Here at the road courses, road course qualifying a little bit different than what the oval side of things are. Any type of incident point and off track, and your lap time is negated. So you've got to be on point every single turn, the entire lap. A little less forgiving on the road side of things in qualifying, as Curtis Critchley has crossed the line first so far, the only driver to put in a time lapse so far, so he'll go to the top of the speed chart. Still watching Ricky Howell. He's going to bring his machine to a stop. We'll jump back now, take a look at this 32 of Matt Tritchler.
Yeah, we'll see how they go as they work their way around the racetrack. Matt Tritchler there in the number 32, and he goes for a spin right there as he gets ready to exit onto turn number 1 onto the speedway. And so problems there. Right now, Critchley looks like he's going to go to the top of the board. And here comes Riley Gray in the number 11 machine, the driver from Ohio, as he'll work his way through that little chicane there, if you will, off of turn number 4 on the dog leg, coming across the stripe in the number 11 truck. And, I know we have October and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but this is the Trick or Treat Triples. And, Dave, we might see some crazy-looking Halloween spooky paint schemes for this race here tonight as well.
Yeah, there's actually a few paint schemes that I've had my eye on, because an interesting fact here about the Trick or Treat Triples here for the Outlaw eSports and Phantom Graphics putting on this show here tonight. They're going to do a special prize for the best Halloween paint scheme throughout the evening. So we're going to have to keep our eye on a lot of these cars. And there's a few trucks out there looking pretty, I won't necessarily say scary, but they're looking pretty festive, if I can use that word without it being Christmas. It's mostly with Christmas, but
Yeah, spooky festive, if you want to add that dialogue in there as well. As Riley Gray right now currently 6th on the board. You see him working his way through the bus stop, if you will, the outer loop, the inner loop onto the racetrack here at Charlotte, up the banking on the regular speedway in turn number 3. And again, by the way, they will race the first race here on the Roval. They'll go 20 laps, then they'll turn around, they'll come back, and they'll race on the 1.5-mile big speedway, and then they'll turn around and they'll be slinging the dirt at the dirt track at Charlotte across the road on Highway 49 or Highway 29 coming up here in just a little bit, virtually on iRacing for the Turn 3 Racing Network coverage of the Trick or Treat Triples. And again, Maines right now, the man at the top of the board. And Maines is a great driver of that number 1 machine for Elliott Sadler eSports, Smithfield Foods. There he is in the number 19. He's already on the top of the board. Normally he's in the number 1. He's in the 19 tonight. And the driver out of Powelton, Virginia, just truly a talented racer. We're going to be keeping an eye on him tonight here, Dave.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got this one pretty much bagged up. Don't want to jinx the man too much, but he's sitting on about a 2-second buffer zone right now. Quick time sitting at a 1:16.69 for Garrett Maines. So closest competitor back, Andrew Navarro, sitting right there in second on the speed charts right now with a 1:18.97. So 2.28 second difference between first and second. This field has been put on notice. Maines has not come to play. He doesn't want a trick. He wants the treat at the end of this thing, and he's looking to collect the purse. Oh, sideways. Ooh. Getting back onto that banking. I think that's going to catch a few drivers. Oh, and another driver. There you go. That just shows you what I was about to say. I think that's going to be a trouble spot for a lot of drivers, as well as that one right there, just getting around Heartburn Turn there in turn number 1. I think that transition, that little bit of uphill, if you've been there, you know what I mean, that little bit of uphill right there after Heartburn Turn, it can be a little tricky.
Yeah, we call that the Tums Heartburn Turn number 1 for sure, as they work their way on the start, from the start-finish line, roaring into that corner, on through the S's, into the corners of 1 and 2, working their way now around through the S's, through the carousel now, if you want to call it that, down off the rumble strips. And they'll work their way through the boot of the racetrack, kind of like what we see at Watkins Glen. This is the boot of the Roval, as they work their way through that part of the course. Final turn there. They'll work their way uphill, back down the hill, and they'll come onto the big speedway in turn number 1 right about now, where the Heartburn Turn 1 is a memory there as they pass it. And then they'll work their way up the racetrack. This is Heagley Wilson in the Virginia native of the 151. Watching what Headley Wilson can do here, is right now Garrett Maines at the top of the board. Torres is in second. Then you got Navarro, Wilson, and Akula right now, I believe, in the top 5. Dave, I still didn't get that link, buddy, for timing and scoring, so I'm kind of thrashing here to try to see what I got in front of me. But
yeah,
Joyner and Church and Rochelle and Fulton looks like the top 10 went great.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there with all the names and the numbers and positions. Trying to get that all figured out and worked out over here on this side. And with just a few minutes left here in qualifying, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, head down trackside for the national anthem. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with all your green flag action here from the Roval for the Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics.
proudly railed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Jets flying over. That means one thing, race fans. We're ready to go racing once again here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Walking away with the pole position here tonight for event number 1 in the Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics. The 19 of Garrett Maines. He showed the field the way it was going to go down. And Wesley, he made no qualms about it, just absolutely lit him up in qualifying. So with that being said, I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and run through tonight's official starting grid as these drivers all get ready to set 20 laps around this 17-lap road course here at Charlotte Motorspeedway. There you see, starting inside road number 1, pole position, the 19 of Garrett Maines just to his outside. The 42 of Andrew Navarro, row number 2. Jarrett Torres, followed by Bradley Wilson. William Alacola in the number 5 machine, going to start inside row number 6. Curtis Critchley just to his outside, row number 4. Ricky Holloway Jr. in the number 2 machine in the 88 of Randy Jr. Row number 5, Kernan Church and Pete Polini will round out your top 10.
Rochelle will start 11th in truck number 1, followed by Derek Fulton from Centre, Ontario, Canada in the number 7 machine. Starting in the 13th spot is Matt Tritchler in the 13. To the outside is going to be 14th starter Billy Gray in the 11. James Morgan will start 15th. Alongside will be Mike Adamson, his son Dale in the 47. Mike Adamson from Sanford, Florida will be in the back in the 44, starting 17th. Then it'll be Tyler Peacock in the 18th position. And to run out the rundown, it'll be Tyler Payne starting in 19th. Keith Bradley from Indiana, they call him the Animal. Watch him in the 20. And Will Duvall in the 11 from Mannington, West Virginia, will be the final starter. 21 trucks ready to go for, again, race number 1 of the Trick or Treat Triples at Charlotte.
And as these drivers make their way back onto the banking here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's a familiar sight these drivers are going to see here tonight over the course of the first 2 races. As we've already mentioned a few times here tonight, 20 laps at the Roval. These drivers going to be transitioning from the flat portions of the track, the elevation changes, the sharp little bus stops that we have here in this road course configuration. Then they will head off to 50 laps at the 1.5 mile oval. And then another 50 laps over there on the clay. So that 1/4 mile clay show is going to be one for the ages. Absolutely love the dirt track at Charlotte. If you haven't been, you got to go. Man, it's a great show.
It is. It's always an exciting race and a very unique one this year where the rain fell and the Xfinity race was running in the rain. The IMSA race at night was in the rain, and then, of course, a little bit of weather on Sunday for the Bank of America Roval 400. And then, of course, it finally did clear up, probably about 15, 20 laps into the race, and then it was sunny skies clear the rest of the way, but the remnants of what the weather had left itself. And then we had Texas this past week where it seemed like they'd never get the race in with the weather. But we are set, Dave, for the start here in the Trick or Treat Triples. Out of turn number 4, ready to work their way back off the chicane. Green in the air, we have a start.
Green flag flies for the first time here tonight at Charlotte Motorspeedway at the Roval. And, well, it's the only time this green flag's going to fly. No contact. Wilson around.
No caution, and honestly, we might set ourselves up here in this race. We might not see a yellow flag unless there's actually something very detrimental bad on the speedway virtually. So right now you see Maines and Navarro up into 1 and 2. Out in front, Torres there in third. They work their way through the bus stop, or if you want to call it the boot here inside the infield at Charlotte. They work their way now up on the banking into turn number 1. It's Maines out in front.
Yeah, and going to take a brief moment to go back, take a look at the action that happened with Bradley Wilson there on that initial start. There you can see him going down towards Heartburn turn on the binders and just contact with the 2, and around he goes.
Yeah, he had some help there. It looked like Ricky Howell got into him, and another truck kind of plowed into his back end there. And some other trucks, Mike Adamson got some damage in the 46 as well in the back. So, again, tough break for those guys. But the race rolls on as you see the Turn 3 Racing Network replay. And meanwhile, 1 lap in, it is Garrett Maines out in front as he works his way back to the Heartburn turn.
And Maines out to I don't want to say a giant lead, but an early lead already, lap number 1, and he's already got about 2 seconds over his closest competitor. Navarro sitting right there in second. Third is Torres. Alcala right there in fourth, rounding out your top 5. Ricky Howell Jr. in that number 2 machine. You seen that too with a little bit of contact with, I believe that was Wilson, Bradley Wilson. Yes, the 151. In the 2 coming together there just a little bit on that initial green flag. And as we said, Wesley, local yellows here tonight on the road course. So unless it's just something catastrophic, I don't think we're going to see any of these drivers slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, no visit by the Banana Republic flag unless it's something like you said, catastrophic or very, blocking the entire path and the entire trucks are all destroyed. That's the only way I could see one of the admin officials throwing a caution on the road course. Normally, prominently for iRacing events on road courses, normally they do go caution-free. As Jared Torres looks like he missed the bus stop there, and you see where he had to stop. He had to get on the binders and then get going again. The man out of California missing that opportunity to get through the racetrack there in turn number 3. And because of that, he had to stop his truck. If not, he would have suffered a penalty there, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. That's something that these drivers, they've got to, any time given, they've got to give back up. So you got to stop, give back that time that you gained by not completing the course the way that you should have there. As we watch this battle now for the 5th and 6th spot, Curtis Critchley, sorry about that. Critchley right there on the rear bumper of Hal trying to take that spot away. He's got Church just behind him, heating up his rear deck lid. So tough little battle here right around the 5th, 6th, and 7th spot.
Yeah, that's Curtis Critchley again in the pavement marking LLC entry. He's also got a partner along with Vernon Church right there, the man in that number 22 machine as they work their way around the racetrack. Another lap on the speedway is currently about 3 laps in this time by down the back straightaway. And another thing we have not even talked about here, Dave, they're under the lights racing on the Roval here at Charlotte.
Yeah, it took me a second. I didn't want to mention it because I thought, well, maybe my eyes just were playing tricks on me. I was like, it's pretty dark right now. Maybe some cloud cover or something, but no, absolutely right, Wesley. Under the lights here at the Roval. And I tell you what, I've been there to every Roval race except for the last one. And if they were to put this thing under the lights, oh my, that would change everything. Oh my.
Yeah. Just I will tell you that is already something that is in the works. That's all I'll tell you.
I
You heard it here first, but I know that's something that's definitely a plan. And one of the reasons why they done the IMSA race at night was a reason behind that. They wanted to see what it would look like in the nighttime. So, and of course, you got to know those IMSA cars, the sports cars. Those prototypes have obviously lights on their cars. They have headlights. As we have trouble, Fulton almost gets into the 32 machine. 32 goes spinning. And we will still keep going racing. No harm, no foul. Got to wonder how much damage is on the Canadian in the number 7 truck. As again, adorning one of those special Halloween paint schemes for the trick-or-treat triples here in Charlotte.
And we'll go back, check, and see what happened here. Looks like Ricky Howell Jr. going off track. And that 2 machine having a little bit of an incident in being shown as hitting the wall here. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah,
wow.
Backs it up into that wall just a little bit, coming over that little crest. And I mean, that's what I was talking about, the elevation changes. They're a little bit more sudden as opposed to subtle that you get at most planned out road courses. The Roval, kind of the brainchild, and I absolutely love it. Just a mixture of both worlds, and they've created some elevation changes in some pretty tricky corners at some times. As we watched Ricky Hell Jr. just have a little bit of a moment, back it up into the outside wall, and on his way he went. No harm, no foul. Looks like the rear deck lid not too trashed on that machine. But Wesley, I do want to mention the man at the front real quick. There he is. We kind of forgot about him, and that's because he's kind of forgot about the rest of the field. 10-second race lead with 16 laps to go here for the 19 of Garrett Maines. He has got this thing in the bag, but he's got to stay focused. There's 17 turns here, and if you lose focus for 1 or 2, you can find yourself losing a ton of time to your competitors.
And I'll just say this, you know, Dave, I don't know how many iRacing events you've announced or been to the broadcast booth for Turn 3 Racing Network or other affiliates where you have seen Garrett Maines in action. But man, this kid, and I don't mean to call him a kid because he's a young man, but truly awesome racing story. You know, if you ever get a chance to meet him and talk with his father, Jason, he had autism at a very, very young age, had autism. And iRacing helped him build getting out of that autism and to build up his racing resume. He's run legend cars. He's run real cars. He's moving in to try to run the Coca-Cola eNASCAR series and make a run for the Road to Pro. And he is truly a talent. He's coming off of a win last night at Rockingham that I announced with the series, a truck series. He's won the Martinsville E300. He's won other caliber events. This young man, for Elliott Sadler eSports out of Powelton, Virginia, the Smithfield Fuchs Ford, definitely a talent, and you are seeing what he can do right here tonight in race 1 of the Trick or Treat Triples on Turn 3 Racing Network. We're just watching this sheer domination in Truck 19 of Maines.
Yeah, I haven't had the pleasure to see Maines out there on track. Very much a handful of times I've been able to watch. This is the first time I've ever been able to call a race with him in it. So very enjoying that fact all in itself right there.
Sir. You're going to enjoy it. By the way, 6 laps in, 14 remaining. As we see the leader, Garrett Maines, out in front. He is the man leading this drop of the green flag, fast qualifier. Remember, they're running 20 laps here in race number 1. We'll talk to the top 3 on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Then we'll turn around and come back for 50 laps on the big 1.5-mile speedway here at Charlotte. And then we'll close her out to another top 3 interviews. And then we come back for the nightcap, and that is the 50 laps on the dirt at the dirt track at Charlotte. And that's the one I'm really looking forward to here, Dave, coming up later tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime I can get to see some dirt flying and some mud slanging, absolutely love it. Love to see guys catfishing, ripping the lip up at the top, pushing the cushion towards the wall. Absolutely love dirt track racing. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with oval racing. Love asphalt racing as well. Huge NASCAR fan, Formula One fan as well, GP Motorsports fan. Kind of follow it all, really, but
Just go ahead and say it. You're like me. You're a fan of all motorsports because that's how I am.
pretty
I'm
much.
not in one democracy. I love all of them.
now, I mean, I will say, Wesley, and I don't want to take away from tonight's trick-or-treat triples going on right now here at the Roval. One I don't really care too much for is the, it's like the E formula that they have right now. I believe it's over in Europe. It's electric cars. It's just, I don't know, the sound just isn't right for me, so it's hard for me to deal with.
Formula One?
You know. Well, it's kind of like a Formula One style car, but it's all
They're the
electric.
race cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's they're pretty neat. They're fast. Oh, and blowing the bus stop there.
Whoa,
The 19 blew the bus stop. Oh my. See him going very slow. Maybe the iRacing officials allowing him just to come to a crawl, basically. Maybe not a full stop. But there you see him. He blew the bus stop. Garrett Maines, a little bit of a moment, lack of focus there for just a brief moment. And there you see, I mean, he had a 15-second race lead. Now it's down under 14 seconds. So just like that, over a second lost from just a brief lapse of focus.
And what could be a heartbreak here is what if he didn't stop? What if there's a penalty coming? What if they're going to black flag him? You know, because normally we saw earlier in the race where one of these drivers missed the bus stop or ran over the bus stop, and they had to stop, like come to a complete stop. If you watch the real boys run with the Xfinity and the Cup Series here around the Roval, if they miss their chicane or their bus stop, they have to literally come to a stop and then get back rolling again. If not, that's the penalty. If not, then the penalty is more extreme, and they have to suffer a pit road penalty, a stop and go penalty. So we'll definitely have to see what happens here. Is right now, no harm, no foul for the 19. Let's see how he negotiates through him this time. He's already caught up with lap trucks like Ricky Howell, the man out of Radford, Virginia, putting him a lap down. And he is on a tear, getting ready to come to halfway here at the Roval in race one of the trick-or-treat triples on Turn 3 Racing Network.
And as the 19 into the last chicane here on the front stretch section of the Roval, want to give you just a brief idea of what it looks like. The gap, Maine's already now down into Heartburn Turn. We'll go back now with Andrew Navarro, who's just now working off of turn number 3 onto the front stretch. That's what a 16-second gap looks like at the Roval. And another one of those cool little paint schemes right there on that 42 machine. Not sure if we can really get an as up-close shot as we need of it, but I believe that is the Scooby-Doo Halloween paint scheme chromed out on that 42.
Yes, it is. The number 42 got the special wrap jobs being done for this Halloween season. And we got a caution. We got a yellow flag coming out. I wondered if this was a controlled caution because we're coming up on halfway. But we have a yellow flag here around the speedway. This is rather interesting because I had a feeling we would go 20 laps green flag around the Roval, but that is just not the case here, Dave. We have caution.
Yeah, it looks like race officials throwing the caution. We'll go back, see if we can see anything. And no, it looks like, although we do see the 42 on screen of Navarro not having any issues, so it does look like that caution flag coming down from upstairs. So it looks like race officials going to tighten this thing back up for the last handful of laps. We're going to have ourselves well, not quite a short track Saturday night shootout, but,
shootout.
you know, Friday night might as well. I mean, why not?
A 10-lap Friday night slugfest on Halloween Eve. We'll see it. So we're getting ready to see these drivers catch up to that beautiful-looking Porsche pace car virtually, and we'll get ready to re-rack them and restack them. And Garrett Maines did not want to see this caution flag. I really don't think he did.
Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee you that is not what he wanted to see. A lot of drivers, a lot of road course aces, they'll show up sometimes and just start beating the pants off of the rest of the field, just because they know they don't have to worry about that field being bunched back up. They can maintain their gaps. They can back off and have a Sunday drive once they kind of get out there. But not having that here tonight, I guess that's the trick in this treat of an event here tonight, in the first event for the Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics. You can check out Phantom Graphics on Facebook.com as well as Outlaw eSports. And I tell you what, tell them Dave and Wesley sent you, and they might, just might, send you a like. I don't know. They'll do something for you, I'm sure.
And, the Outlaw Super Late Model Series was really, really big for what Derek Fulton created. And, of course, now he has Phantom Graphics and the Outlaw eSports program banner. And I know he's working on a lot of cool things. This is just a special event, the Outlaw Trick or Treat Triples. And, again, I've worked with Derek Fulton for, and if we want to show him real quick, he's in the 9th position in the number 7 truck. That's the man who created this. He's the monster. He's the Frankenstein that created all of this chaos that we're seeing here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network, from Center, Ontario, Canada, Derek Fulton. And he's got a lot of big plans, a lot of ideas, dirt, pavement, wants to do some stuff with the trucks like you're seeing, the super late models. And it wants to create like a short track cup dirt pavement series. So there's a lot of ideas that he wants to do with Outlaw eSports and Phantom Graphics. But this is going to be an historic race, and I will tell you this as well, Dave. When he talked to me this morning, the plan is not just to do this one runoff Trick or Treat Triples. He wants to do this annually, every year to come from now on.
Well, I mean, that would be an absolutely big shot in the arm to a lot of cool cats out there. I know there's a lot of iRacers out there. I broadcast about 6 days a week right now, and there's a lot of racers out there that love events like this, that are kind of outside of the box, that aren't the normal, that aren't the same old Chicagolands or Daytona charity races or special events. This is a very unique style, a very unique laid out format. The road coursing, the oval racing, as well as the dirt racing. There's paid out spots for each event, as well as an overall points winner for all 3 events. So if you race in all 3, but you come in second in each one, well, hey, you still get paid at the end of this thing. And then there's a paint scheme payout as well. So, I mean, Fulton doing a heck of a job with getting this thing put together and formatted and worked out. I know he's been working behind the scenes for a few weeks on this thing, and his baby's looking pretty good right now.
It certainly is. As again, we're getting ready to come back for the restart here in just a moment. They're going to be nestled up double file, single file actually. We'll get them double file here in a moment, but see a couple of trucks getting the free pass of the wave around. 32, I'm wondering if he's going to take advantage of it. He was the one that got caught up in that accident with Derek Fulton earlier that we were talking about. We had some trucks come down on the pit lane. Some pitted, some didn't. Looks like, Garrett Maines, Dave, came down and pitted, but Navarro did not pit. He stayed out. So I'm wondering if we're going to see some type of strategy on the 42 truck here.
Yeah, and I mean, Navarro and Morgan, driver of that 32 machine, neither of those drivers hit pit road under caution, so that's going to put the 19 Owen, it looks like, getting a wave around. The 32 actually getting a wave around.
He was the one that got in that wreck, if you remember. But yeah, when we were showing him, is the 32 and the 7 of Fulton. They kind of got together going off into the chicane part of the track on the carousel, and Fulton, we wondered how much damage was on his truck, but nonetheless, we're seeing him now in the 9th position. But yeah, I think we're going to get ready to see it. So it looks like Navarro is going to be, it looks like unofficially being scored as the new leader, followed by this other truck on the bottom of the apron. But I got a feeling he's going to come down to the pit lane. That's James Morgan in the 13 truck. He's going to pit. And so this is going to put Garrett Maines back to second, which no harm, no foul for Maines. He was leading, and then he pits. and then he comes back out with the other drivers, take the wave around, or they pit, and he comes back in second spot. So I think he'll jump right back out to the lead here in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, the fresh tires are going to mean a ton here on this restart. A lot of drivers may not think that the fresh tires are that important at a road course, but, I mean, these drivers have put down 12 laps, and most might shake their heads at, 12 laps, but it's 12 laps at the Roval. 17
right.
corners. This thing is not your normal track. You're going to want them tires, and I believe, unfortunately, Navarro is going to get just absolutely eaten up through the course of the first lap when we go back. Green flag racing. We'll just have to see how well he can put his truck in the right spot at the right time to block those runs. You can keep those drivers behind him by taking away certain lines, especially into the bus stops, because these drivers are going to have to be on the binders. And if they overcook it, they're going to pay the price. So I don't know, Navarro, if he does it right, he may be able to maintain possibly a top 5 by the end of this one.
Yeah, we'll certainly see what happens as the field will get ready to work their way back onto the big part of the speedway. The lights are off on the pace car. They'll work their way in what would be now turns number 7 and 8 of the racetrack as they work their way onto the racetrack now into turn number 9 on the straight into turn number 1. Turn 9 for the Roval. You see the little sign there that said turn 9. Turn 10, they're coming up on turn 10 now in turn number 2 on the big speedway. But you see where it says turn 10? So
yes, sir.
We will get ready to come back for the restart. Navarro and Maines will be on the front row, watching the rest of these drivers in the back. You see the ticker on the top of the screen showing the interval, the distance of everybody. And we will get ready to come back to the green flag of the Toyota restart zone with 7 laps to go. And as you said, still a lot of competition left here for these drivers as we'll get ready to come back for the green flag this time coming up.
Yeah, field getting ready to go back. Green flag racing this time by. I believe I've got something worked out for us on timing and scoring, so we'll get that going here in just a brief moment.
Awesome.
Sorry you had to kind of endure and deal with this the way it is, but hey.
The best thing is I know these guys, so it kind of helps out. You're just got these Halloween trucks, and it's very tricky.
Well, I mean, that's part of it, right?
That's right. Now remember, they're coming to the restart zone, and they'll work their way. Now, normally in the real Cup and Xfinity race here at the Roval, as you know very well, they do not go through that little NASCAR bus stop chicane coming to green. They actually go through the regular double dog legs. We got a couple of trucks going around off on the restart in Heartburn turn 1. The Tums Heartburn turn gets some more drivers, but on the jump again, it's Garrett Maines. And like I said there, Dave, as soon as the green flag fell, I knew he'd jump out of that 19 truck. Yeah,
the green flag flew. Navarro got on the gas. Maines got on the gas right with him, moved his truck just to the inside right when the opportunity presented itself, and down into Heartburn turn. He was on the inside, and away he went, never looking back. We'll go back to that turn 1 incident here with our turn 3 replay as Kyle Rochelle, he's the one that went around, driver of that one machine, in a little bit of a moment. I think he just overcooked it. Yeah, just got on the binders.
Did too. He bounced off and had Critchley give him some help, and you see the end result there.
Yeah, so two drivers actually overcooking that same corner, and I think the one unfortunately caught the brunt and was the worst for wear on that one, as he was facing the opposite direction, the wrong direction at the end of that spin. And, well, Wesley, we've got 6 laps to go as Maines has made his way back around Heartburn turn once again, and he has already gapped the field. And it looks like we got a little bit of a battle on our hands here. Navarro maintaining that second spot pretty well, but he's got William Alcola right there behind him trying to track him down.
And remember, this is only race number 1 in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples. We have a 50-lap race coming up on the big speedway, 1.5 miles coming up. And in addition to that, we also have the trucks on the dirt at the dirt track at Charlotte as well. So all of that is coming up here in a moment as, again, they work their way back around the racetrack off of turn number 10 onto the speedway. Navarro and Akala battling for that position. Akala, another one of those drivers that he's no slouch in the world of iRacing eSports, Dave. Watch him in that black number 5. Closing in on Navarro for the bridesmaid spot.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at that paint scheme. I'm digging the Annabelle paint scheme on that 5 machine. A little bit different style of a Halloween theme, kind of a horror, scary movie kind of theme. Oh, as the 5 gets a little tail happy into the outside wall coming across the stripe. And he's going to have Curtis Critchley on his tail here in just a moment if he's not careful. Going to have to calm the rear end of that truck down and try to set its sights back in on Navarro. But Critchley is right there, and he is knocking on the door.
5 laps to go, mind you, as well, as we watch Critchley now. And remember, he was one of those trucks that kind of got in that little tangle a few moments ago. He has now ran back down Alcala for that spot. Alcala there trying to now play blocker on the machine of Critchley as they work their way into turns number 7 and 8. On to turn number 9 on the big part of the speedway, which will be the turn 1 of the big race. Coming up next in race 2 of the Outlaw Trick or Treat Triples. And there you see him trying all he can to reel them in now into turn number 10. Down the back straightaway into turn 11 to the bus stop. Into that little chicane there. We saw a couple of drivers make some mistakes earlier going through that, but he'll negotiate it perfectly. And the race rolls on as they now move their way into turn number 13.
Yeah, and I think Alcala actually had a little bit of a moment there through the bus stop because Critchley, you seen him very aggressive on the gas, getting back onto the banking there in 1. And almost lost it, was sideways there for a brief moment, but stayed in the gas, stayed on it. And by the time they made their way out of the back stretch chicane, he made up the ground. And he's right there once again fighting for that 3rd position, trying to take that final podium spot away. But I want to give a big shout out and a big tip of the hat to this man right here. No tires throughout the entire race. Oh, Critchley with a big moment. Whew. Don't want to take away from what I was saying with this driver of the 42, Navarro, not stopping at all so far here at the Roval. And I thought he was going to get it eaten up here on this latest restart with just about 8 laps to go. But he's maintained well. He has got that 2nd spot, and I think it's going to be tough to get him out of those podium positions.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Dave. I'm worried about that 42 because I thought he was going to be like a sitting duck. But once he finally cleared, Maine's getting around him. He's been, and I think he just let Maine's go. He just said, hey, man, just go on. You got the faster car, the truck. You got the new set of tires. I don't. I'm just kind of rim riding back here, holding my position. And he's doing good. 2nd place. If he holds on and gets 2nd in this race after not pitting, having used tires, and stretching it to the end of this 20-lap race, a job well done there for Navarro in that 42 truck.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's almost, he won't feel as good as a win, but it's almost a win. I mean, knowing that the entire field behind you all have 4 fresh tires, and only one of them was able to make their way by you in 9 laps around the Roval, that's got to be feel like a win in itself altogether, and give them a little bit of confidence and momentum heading into the next event when these drivers switch from the inside-outside road course here, the Roval, to just strictly that 1.5 miles out there on one of the greatest racetracks in NASCAR, Charlotte Motorspeedway. Great racing action each and every time, and I'm telling you what, these drivers are going to put on a show here in event number 2 in the Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics.
And again, Garrett Maines out of Powelton, Virginia, continuing to pick him up and put him down in the Smithfield Foods Ford for Elliott Sadler Esports. 2 to go. He's in the Tums heartburn turn all by his lonesome. Big interval, almost 13 seconds over Navarro, the man from Miami, Florida, in 2nd as they work their way around the racetrack in turn 4.
Still having to deal with Alcala, though. Navarro not able to step away the way he was just a lap or so ago. So Alcala back on the gas and back on the hunt, trying to take that second spot away. And if these two drivers aren't careful, if they start mixing it up a little bit too much, there's a driver waiting in the wings, in the catbird seat, if you will. Curtis Critchley sitting right there just behind that 5 of Alcala, who's on screen right now running that Annabelle Halloween paint scheme, chasing down the Scooby-Doo machine. So I don't know. That's pretty little thing.
I like these horror themes. Nice horror wrap jobs on these trucks. We're gonna have to pick out who's got the best one.
And I hope they don't put that vote to me, because I don't want to be that guy. I just don't want to be that guy.
Put that evil on me.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
And the laps have wind down. He has already took the white flag. One more lap to go for Garrett Maines in the 19 Smithfield Food Ford truck. He's actually now in a Toyota out of Powelton, Virginia, picking him up and putting him down. A dominating performance. No harm, no foul, no slips here, Dave Worrell. He is going to win here in race 1 of the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples.
Yeah, and all he's got to do, the driver of that 19, I'm sure his crew chief and spotter are in his ear just saying, bring it home. Nice and easy, big gap back to the closest competitor. You got about 16 and a half seconds over the field right now, so just be nice and smooth. Make sure we woe it up enough through this back stretch chicane, the back stretch bus stop one last time. The final time the 19 navigates that easily, as it looks like one driver off track, staying out of the way of the race leader in the 19. Gonna come around 3 and 4 on the oval section of the Roval, heading down into the final chicane of the race. The 19, 2 corners to navigate, down and away. Checkered flag flies. 19 of Garrett Mays is your race winner.
Garrett Maines in his Toyota number 19. My apologies. I think I said he was in a Ford for a more part of this race until I finally realized the front grille was that Toyota. He normally did run a Ford, but now he has been running the Toyota entry number 19. So congratulations to him. Smithfield Foods, Elliott Sadler eSports. I know they're going to be proud as the rest of the field finally coming across the start-finish line. Second place again going to go to Andrew Navarro. What a strategy there for the 42. Alcala tried everything he could. Alcala to run him down. He'll have to settle for third place. You see the rest of the rundown here, and they still have the entire field of trucks working their way across the racetrack. Hey, look at this, Dave. The interval almost 22 seconds to Navarro at the checkered flag in race number 1 over Garrett Maines.
And something must have happened to Alcala there in those final few sections. He lost a ton of ground, all the way back to 5th now as Critchley came up and snatched that final podium spot away. So going to be interesting to see what may have took place between Navarro and Alcala. Not going to say anything did, but they were racing pretty hard for position, so we'll have to wait and see.
Critchley was up in there.
Critchley may have been involved too, yeah. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what these drivers say about that late race position swapping and changing. With that being said, the 19 going to celebrate for just a brief moment. We're going to step away for a brief commercial break, get things set up for your post-race interviews, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Event number 1 in the book. We still got 2 more coming at you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. back track side at conclusion of event number 1. Man, oh man, Wesley, what a great race here at the Roval to open up the night here in the Trick or Treat Triples, brought to you by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics. And I believe you've had the opportunity and the chance to catch up with the driver that finished in third there today.
Yeah, fun time at the Roval. We're going to talk to the man, the number 54 out of Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, sponsored by Pavement Marking LLC. And in his special Halloween theme to boot, we'll get some more details on that. Curtis Critchley, third in the race. What do you think of the Roval in race 1? Still got 2 races to go here in the triples.
I like being at the road courses here, but this is not one of my strong suits at the Roval. It's one of my off tracks, but I kept shooting myself in the foot in that final stage there. But luckily, the people in front of me kind of got scrapping to it, and I was able to pick up the pieces after that.
Yeah, definitely. Some crazy chaos there on that last couple of laps. We didn't get to see it. We thought Alcala was going to be in the number 3 position. Can you give us your take of what happened there on that last lap to get the podium for third?
I was basically just trying to stay close to them if they did get into each other, because this place is really hard to pass. Like anywhere, any passing opportunities, you almost have to you can't run side by side in any turns. So basically, they end up running side by side in 2 turns twice, and I was able to capitalize it down on that front stretch there. But that's just hard racing, and I just set myself up for a pass there. But I'd like to thank Beleaf Farms, Phantom Graphics, especially Phantom Graphics for putting this all on tonight, and also 7 Seas Cruises.
And by the way, tell us a little bit about your spooky truck wrap you have here tonight, presented by Phantom Graphics.
Yeah, Derek Fulton here. He put on a whole bunch of all the Phantom cars are rocking these cool Halloween-themed trucks. Mine is a jack-o'-lantern with the Beleaf logo carved out into it. And yeah, you got to check out all the cars. They're so sweet looking, especially under the lights here.
There you go. There's Dave again. Curtis Critchley, third place here in race number 1 at the Roval. Ready to talk now to second place, and we'll turn it back to you.
All right, yeah, it looks like, as we alluded to, those drivers got to battling a little bit, and Curtis Critchley capitalizing on it, and that has led me to be able to catch up with the driver finishing in second here today after a great final restart. Driver of that 42 machine, Andrew Navarro, you had a great final restart, able to keep a lot of the drivers behind you. Did you think you were going to be able to maintain and keep that second spot?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought I was going to be able to keep it easily, but then I heard some of the tire wear under caution. I was like, oh, I made a big mistake. So I just kind of stayed out there. I wasn't going to come back in with I think it was 1 to go. I just stayed out. I tried to keep Garrett Maines behind me, but he just got me into turn 1 and blew past me, and then got a 14-second lead.
Well, when Maines made that move to the inside, did you just think, he's got the fresher tires, he's gonna get me? Why fight it? Let's just try to maintain this second spot from this point to the end of the race.
Yeah, you could say I was thinking that, but kind of wanted to win there, so definitely thought about maybe racing him a little bit harder. But once I saw his fender, I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to keep up with him. So I was just trying to maintain second.
Absolutely, I hear you. Well, walking away with a great finish here on the Roval. Do you think this gives you any more confidence heading into our next event number 2 here in the Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics? Does it give you any more confidence walking away with a second here in the event number 1, getting you ready for that 1.5 mile showdown, the 50 laps on the oval here at Charlotte Motorspeedway?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm pretty good here at the oval side of things. Pretty good at the Roval, I thought earlier today, until that happened. So yeah, it should be fun. I just want to thank 7 Seas and Phantom Graphics for being on the car.
All right, Andrew. Well, we do appreciate you taking just a brief moment before climbing back in the truck and getting back out there on the oval for some practice laps. So do appreciate you taking the time for that. Once again, congratulations on a great second place, and good luck the rest of the night. Head down, elbows up, my man. And just like that, Wesley, it looks like That driver getting ready to go, putting the helmet back on. So Navarro already strapped in, ready to go, get back out on the track. And I believe with that being said, that's given you enough time to catch up with our race winner.
Yeah, down here in Victory Lane here at the Roval, and when it's all said and done, winner of race number 1 of 3 in the inaugural Outlaw Graphics, Outlaw eSports Phantom Graphics Trick or Treat Triples. The driver, the number 819, Toyota for Elliott Sadler Esports, sponsored by Smithfield Foods. No trick or treat or Halloween wrap job on this truck, but man, this truck was a nightmare for the rest of the pack. Garrett Maines, we've been in too many of these, buddy. Congratulations to you. Another win on the docket.
I appreciate it. Definitely not too many. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're funny. I just talked to you in Victory Lane last night. Hey, so listen, talk about the Roval, how everything went for you, and was there ever any concern? Did you think there was going to be a penalty when you overshot the chicane, the bus stop going on the backstretch about halfway in the race?
Well, I got a very hefty, 3-second penalty for that one, but in the end, I kind of felt confident that I was going to be okay after that one. I decided to go through the chicane because it was better than going over the curbs and, the potential for tearing up the car. I've made that mistake before, hitting there's a curb right before you get to the turtles that will destroy the front end of the car. So I made sure I turned and made that decision before I got to it. I don't know. I was kind of concerned when Andrew stayed out there just because I wasn't really sure if that was going to work out. I know he had his hands full. I don't understand the strategy on staying out there. I think he would have been much better off if he had taken tires, but all in all, it was freaking dark.
Yeah, I was going to say, normally the Roval is in the daytime. Tonight, they decided to be spooky and run this Halloween race at night. What was it like negotiating around this place with a lot of places that were not properly lit, even virtually?
Well, I'm sure it was much better than it was in real life in the rain at night. But, I think it was, once I got used to it, I figured out where the points were. It was really odd because there were some shadows that you didn't have that maybe you subconsciously were braking on, that you just kind of had to find a new braking point. And I took it kind of easy on the first few laps, just trying to figure out, where a good place to do that was. But overall, it was a lot of fun. That's a really good track just to drive in general. But looking forward to the oval, and we got the dirt track right after that. So, this is going to be fun. I definitely think it's going to be a good event and some really good tracks on the schedule for tonight. So,
could we see you sweep all 3 of them? Go for the hat trick tonight?
I think I have a good chance at the dirt track. I don't know how everyone else in the field is on the dirt. I feel pretty confident there, but the oval is the questionable one. Believe it or not, I think the oval is the one that I'll have the most trouble on, but we'll see how it goes. I know I'm about to load into that room and get started in practice and see what we got.
Well, buddy, before we let you go, thank your sponsors. Congratulations on that number 19.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I got to thank Smithfield, 101 CBD, Sim Seats, Strickland Hardy, and Linux, and everybody over at ESC that's been making it happen. Everybody that put in the work with me on the Martinsville car this week. It's been a rocket. Just hoping for some good results tonight. I got my teammates running that, so we'll see how that goes. But overall, thanks to them.
Well, Dark Side Dave, there you go. The winner of race number 1 here in the Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triples from Powelton, Virginia, the number 19. That's Garrett Maines.
That's right. And with all the drivers getting ready to switch over to the oval race, event number 2 here in the Trick or Treat Triples, presented to you by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics. We're going to go ahead and run down your unofficial race results here from event number 1 at the Roval. And it goes a little something like this. Look at that. The 19 of Garrett Maines, top of the leaderboard. 21-second race lead over second place Andrew Navarro, third place Curtis Critchley. Bradley Wilson with a good recovery. That 151 was involved in an early incident, so a great recovery to make it back up inside the top 5. Then rounding out your top 5, William Alcala after a little bit of a moment racing up there for the third spot. falls back to the 5th position. Derek Fulton right there in 6th. 7th goes to Jared Torres. Pete Polini right there in 8th. 9th goes to Randy Jordan. And rounding out your top 10, Kyle Rochelle.
Finishing 11th, Billy Gray. Curtin Church will have some struggles and finish on the podium in the dozen spot of 12th. Then you've got Matt Trichler. There's the man that had a little contact earlier in the race with Derek Fulton. He'll finish 13th. James Morgan will finish 14th, and Ricky Howell out of Radford, Virginia, will finish 15th. Mike Adams to the Adamson family, father and son, 16th and 17th, followed by Tyler Peacock in the 18th spot, Tyler Payne in the 19th position, followed by the rest of the rundown there, along with Will Duvall and Headley. So there you go. When it's all said and done, there's the rundown of race number 1. And guess what? This isn't the end. We reset, re-rack them, restack them, and we go again on the big speedway next.
Absolutely. And with all that being said, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, maybe about 2 or 3 minutes here. So go ahead and get you some fresh popcorn, get you some candy and some drinks, because there's going to be some fireworks once again here at Charlotte Motorspeedway for event number 2 in the Trick or Treat Triple. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
That's good, and this is good as well. Back, Charlotte Motorspeedway. We're back under action already. Qualifying already underway. About 6 minutes into it, so we kept those drivers a little bit long. Fortunately for us, they weren't too upset with us for keeping them in a little bit long. Right now, Bradley Wilson sitting at the top of the speed charts. Quick time with a 29.41 right now. He's got Ricky Hell Jr. just behind him, and no stranger to the front of the field, Garrett Main sitting right there in third. So he said maybe not here on the oval, but I'm going to have to say lie.
Yeah, I think he kind of plays a little manipulation with our broadcasters' heads, making us think what he can do and what he can't do. So definitely Garrett Maines right now. They're in that number 3 position right now. You saw him cross the stripe. And looks like right now qualifying is over. They're just right now just getting some lap sessions in, if you will. All right, come on now, Mike. We're not on the Roval anymore, buddy. You got to stay on the Speedway.
It did look like he thought we were on the Roval there for a minute.
That's Ricky Howell there out of Radford, Virginia. He was off course there trying to run around the Roval again. But this is actually now the big 1.5-mile Speedway here at Charlotte. This should be a good one. Qualifying just about a minute from wrap it up, but it looks like Wilson is the man that's out in front. There's Brett Rolls, and I'm noticing also, Dave, we have some new names, new drivers like Brett Rolls out of Knoxville, Tennessee, in the number 17. He's up there now in that truck. Actually, he's ready to go. We'll see what he can do, and a couple of other guys as well.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm seeing a few names, as you said, entering this race that weren't there for the Roval. So maybe a few of these drivers, I don't want to necessarily say oval ringers because I've never heard that terminology used before. Usually you hear that for a road course ringer, but maybe these drivers, a few of them, thinking, I really don't stand a chance at the Roval, so let me just come in where I've got the best shot. As we see Rolls, he's going to get on the binders, bring his car back to pit road. We'll jump out there. Watch these two battle it out here in qualifying. Kernan Church right there in the 22 machine slotted in 15th on the qualifying speed charts right now. As qualifying going to come to a close in these drivers.
Yeah, trying to run down Mike Adamson there, if you will, on that 46 machine. But, yeah, there's qualifying. It's done. We got there back in time. Look at how fast they're flying across the start-finish line. I mean, that literally shows you when they're on the big speedway, how much speed they're getting here virtually, and they are ready to get to it. 50 laps. This is like a sprint. This is like an all-star race, if you will, Dave. A short segment, a short Saturday night shootout, as you would call it, Friday night shootout. This is going to be a good one here, 50 laps around Charlotte.
Yeah, we're going to have to coin a term for the Friday night short style racing that goes on, not just here tonight, but every Friday night on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. I promise you, if you want to drive something, you want to drive it over here. Much cheaper to wad the machines up over here on iRacing than in real life. All the cars and tracks scanned to laser precision, and the physics are phenomenal. You won't be disappointed at all. I can guarantee you that. And just like that, with that being said, event number 2 getting ready to fire off here as drivers beginning to hit the starting grid here. And a little different now on this configuration. These drivers all going to line up a little bit sideways on that front stretch.
Yeah, that cattywampus.
I didn't know if you knew that word, but okay.
Oh, God, yes. As a broadcaster of 25 years, I've used that word. Cattywampus, crab walking. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, so these drivers are all going to be sitting sideways on the front stretch, letting all the fans get a good view of them. That's for sure. And things going to get ready to kick off. So, Wesley, why don't we go ahead and run down our starting order. If I can get it to line up correctly for the first time. There you go. Bradley Wilson snatching the pole here in event number 2 in the Trick or Treat Triples, brought to you by Outlaw eSports as well as Phantom Graphics just to his outside. The 2 of Ricky Howell. Ricky had a pretty good race going on there and on the Roval. Unfortunately, had a little incident, and down through the field he slid. The man walking away with the race win, gonna slot in third here for the start of this 50-lap race on the high banks of Charlotte Motorspeedway. Kyle Rochelle just to his outside. Row number 3, Pete Polini and Brett Rolls gonna make up row number 3. And row number 4, the 42 of Andrew Navarro as well as Jarrett Torres. Can Navarro put it back on a podium position? We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out over the next 50 laps. Then row number 5, James Morgan, followed by Billy Gray.
Here's your top 10. Curtis Critchley got himself a top 3 podium a moment ago in the Roval event. He'll start 11. To the outside of him is Derek Fulton from Center, Ontario, Canada. Canada, row number 6. Row number 7, we'll find Randy Joyner there in the 13th position. To the outside, Sanford, Florida, Mike Adamson in the 46th, 14th. Then it's going to be Kernan Church in 22, alongside William Alcala, the Ohio native from Arkansas. Moving on there to row number 9, it'll be B.J. Duvall. That's actually Will Duvall from Mannington, West Virginia, the Cowboy. To the outside, it'll be Matt Trichler in 32. And at the back, the son of Mike making his debut from Sanford, Florida, in race number 2, Dale Adamson. So there's your lineup. We get ready for 50 laps. Truck yeah on the pavement at Charlotte. I like how you changed the colors up a little bit. We went from orange for the Roval, blue for the trucks on the big speedway. I wonder what color we'll have for the dirt track coming up here. So, yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the pace car is dropping onto the pit lane. They're in the Toyota restart zone in the starting box here. We are ready to go virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. Green in the air, race number 2 of the Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triples underway in turn number 1.
Race underway, turn number 1. Hot on the trail already. Garrett Maines right there pushing Wilson down the backstretch. Now Maines looks to the inside, not going to have the speed just yet. They're drag racing. Now Maines going to slide back in behind Garrett Wilson through 3 and 4. Ricky Howell Jr. right there trying to slot up a little bit closer. Didn't have the start of the race that he wanted, but still hanging on to that 3rd place in a lot of trucks right there, Wesley. Look at that, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way back through 18th, all kind of piled in. Right there is your top 2. Step away from the field.
Nestled into the back straightaway. They're going to go 2 by 2 for the lead with Maines down to the inside. He'll make that clear run on Wilson. Meanwhile, Howell gets shipped up the racetrack. That'll open up the door for Navarro. He'll carry another truck down to his inside with Critchley and Moore as they work their way back down to the stripe. Too close to call, but Maines has a run on the inside lane looking for the lead in 1.
Maines and Navarro not done on the podium position so far here tonight. Maines hunting for the front, and here comes Navarro just right behind him. Right there pushing that rear deck lid down into turn number 3. James Morgan in the 43 machine. He's right there in the Joker paint scheme, laughing all the way to the bank, possibly at the end of this 50-lap race if he can put that thing in victory lane as we begin lap number 4 out of the 50 scheduled in the...
Trouble! Navarro gets turned into the pack. He collects up with Howell's machine. Both trucks spin, grin, sparks. They still keep going, but the caution is out. But props to all of those drivers, Dave. They kept it going after the calamity in turn number 1 and the smoke clears.
Yeah, in a bad moment that could have been worse, that went right for a lot of drivers. Unfortunately for a few, they're going to find themselves with some issues after some contact. So we'll take a look back and see what happened here on the turn 3 replay.
Yeah, again, Navarro there. Watch him in the 42. He got a little contact with Critchley and some others. Ricky Howell then got collected in it in the process. And along the way, maybe Kernan Church, possibly. I'm only seeing 2 trucks with damage, and the worst for wear is, again, Ricky Howell from Radford, Virginia. Actually, he's a real U-Car racer at the Franklin County Speedway in Callaway, Virginia. They got a big race coming up this Sunday night, the Ricky Gillespie Tribute Race, the memorial in honor of one of the late model greats of Ricky Gillespie. But again, his son Peyton Howell also building up his legacy, racing and iRacing as well. But tonight, Peyton, young kid's in bed, daddy is awake, and he's taking over, and we have caution, and we'll see if he can get it fixed.
And, you know, unfortunately, like you said, for Ricky, just kind of nowhere to go. Navarro sideways right in front of him. And when you're doing 170 miles an hour through a corner and a truck just turns sideways right in front of you, I mean, what do you do? Where do you go? I mean, it is what it is at that point. Fortunately, these drivers in iRacing afforded a fast repair. So they're allowed to kind of fix the machines, no harm, no foul. Press the reset button, if you will. So look for Hal to maybe be back up in this thing by the time it all shakes itself out. He was very fast, and qualifying, look for him to be very fast for the rest of the night. And fast repair absolutely being used, and Hal now going to make his way back off of pit lane and rejoin the track. But he's going to be way back in the back, Wesley. He's going to have to make his way around 17 other drivers now, going to pretty much be shotgun Sally on the field, sitting in 18th. Only Curtis Critchley, who also was involved in that incident, behind him.
Yeah, they're going to be gunning for him for sure, as we still have a lot of racing left to go, mind you, as we're only 6 laps in of 50. 43 to go here this time by when they come to the line. I mean, literally, there is a lot of racing left, and we saw drivers come down to the pit lane, and that surprised me. We saw Mangs give up his position. He was in second. He came to the pits, so he's going to take on new tires and track position. It looks like we're going to get one to go at the line. The lights are going to go off on the pace car. There it is. We'll get everybody jumbled back up 2 by 2 by 2. Like Noah leading the animals to the arc, and we'll get ready to go back to the green flag here next time by. It'll be lap number 8 of 50 when the green flag comes back in the air and the field makes their way back into the Toyota restart zone.
Yeah, only about 42 to 43 laps to go when we take the green flag. So the time is ticking for these drivers, that's for sure, but still a very long race ahead of them. 1.5 mile track, 42 laps. That is an awful lot of miles still left to run here tonight in event number 2 for the Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Outlaw eSports in partnership with Phantom Graphics. And Wesley, do want to take a brief moment to say appreciate you coming out here, joining us here in the booth at the Turn 3 Racing Network for all the great racing action on the track provided by these drivers in this Trick or Treat Triples inaugural race. I do thank you for coming out. It's been a pleasure so far, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the night has in store for both of us. And I want to give a big shout out to all you race fans, friends, and family out there watching all of your drivers make these great moments here tonight in this Trick or Treat Triples. And green flag flies right when the pace truck ducks off. Wilson not wasting any time. He gets a jump over James Morgan. Jared Torres right there in third. Polini will follow through in fourth. Now back to fifth as Bowles makes his way around him. The 17 looking to the inside. But can Torres make his way around on the inside and take that spot away from Morgan?
Down into turn number 3, it's going to be Wilson up on the top shelf. About 2 truck lengths back is going to be Torres. Polini now sets his sights in for that spot for third. While that goes on, they're going to fight for fourth and fifth again. Almost 3 wide. Polini under attack for that spot as they board his speed back into turn 1.
Drivers side by side in a couple spots through the field, now slowly starting to single file, but the battle at the front has not gone away. 2 almost 3 wide at times for the race lead. Now looking once again to the inside. Here comes Torres looking to make the pass on Wilson. Can Torres get the job done? Is the momentum going to carry him? Doesn't look like it's going to work out that time by. And that was pretty much a photo finish at the stripe for who led that one. They're going to go ahead and give the nod to Wilson, but still racing side by side at the front is Jared Torres and Bradley Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson has that powered machine up on the outside lane, but down on the bottom is still Torres. Torres now clears him down to the inside. They're going to be nestled side by side, door to door, as they work their way through the dog leg. Up a little wiggle there for Wilson, still on the outside lane. Give it to Torres now by just merely 0.08 of a second, if you will. New leader, Torres on the bottom in 1 and 2.
Torres makes the pass, and that Simpsons Halloween paint scheme moving to the front, not clear yet. Now just barely clearing that 151, but here comes the 12 of Kyle Rochelle. Rochelle shot out of a cannon down the backstretch, now into the third spot, looking to the inside as the 151 of Wilson gets up into the outside wall just a little bit. Sparks flying here at Charlotte Motorspeedway.
Racing back off underway, 12 of 50 here in race number 2 of the Outlaw Trick or Treat Triples. We're on the dirt next. Across the road at the dirt track is Charlotte, but meanwhile, it's Wilson now on the defensive, is now the leader of Torres. He'll clear him by 2 truck lengths. Couple of more trucks now sticking their nose in the gunfight. Polini falling back now in the clutches of the top 10. New drivers climbing the ladder. Fulton's there in 7 in the mix into 1.
Fulton side by side with the 11 down on the inside, trying to make the high side work. Can he do the high side hustling? Shout out to Harry Gant, the original high side hustler. Not going to work out for that 7 as the 51 kind of slides back just in front of him. That's going to slow the momentum that the 7 was building on that high side. Will the run work off of turn number 4? Not going to be there just yet. Your top 4 have begun to break away from the field. Torres, Wilson, Rolls, and Rochelle slowly walking away from Billy Gray and Pete Polini. Derek Fulton still right there in 7th in the 7 machine. I bet you I haven't said that too many times before. The 7 in 7th. That if it was the 7th, it would be better. Caution flag flies.
We have a yellow flag. Problems on the speedway somewhere. We'll find out what happened. 15 of 50, 35 to go. And the caution coming out in front of the pack there. 47, Dale Adamson going around from Sanford, Florida. A single truck spin. Front nose into the safer wall barrier. There you see him one more time. And wow, man, the 32 just missed him. Just missed him there.
Yeah, just barely getting by, just scooting by with by the skin of the teeth, if you will. That 47 machine had a little bit of trouble. The Ghostbuster machine has seen some better days, that's for sure, here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Yeah, just, fast repair is going to be used, that's for sure. Truck's having trouble just even getting fired back up and going, so Adamson going to have to burn that fast repair kind of early here in event number 2.
A lot of damage there on that number 47 machine, Dale Adamson. He is making his racing debut along with his father, Mike Adamson, tonight. The young man there. And it is Jared Torres out in front in the number 07, the man out of California, leading the way. Second spot, Brett Rolls. I mentioned him earlier. Rochelle the 3rd, Gray in 4th, Polini the top 5. Fulton falling back to 6th. Duvall, another 7th place machine. And by the way, I mentioned guys like Will Duvall in 7th and Brett Rolls, who's in 2nd now in the 17. There are some dirt track racers that have recently just got into pavement. They've been running a lot of races that I broadcast with the World of Thunder Cup Series. And a matter of fact, Dave, the first race of the World of Thunder Cup Series was won by Brett Rolls. He is a normal dirt track racer. He normally runs dirt late models and dirt sprint cars and modifieds, and he got right out of the gate and won the pavement race at Daytona. And since then, he's also been competitive, and he shows some strong, a strong will, if you will. Keep an eye on him right now. Brett Rolls in that number 17, and he's got a throwback for Halloween, but he's also given a throwback to the troops, and that's the Prison of War Missing in Action colors, number 17.
Yeah, I absolutely love that paint scheme right there. Not sure who painted it up for him, but absolutely love the wrap on that 17 machine. Definitely going to get one of my votes here tonight for one of the better paint schemes, or one of the best paint schemes. May not be as holiday, festive, Halloweenish as some of the other ones, but still a very solid, great paint scheme on that 17 machine.
And we love our military and our prisoners of war missing in action. The POW MIA banner being proudly showed there. And again, normally he is in another type colored truck. So for sure to have that type of wrap job, really, really cool right there. So the lights are off on the pace car. They're going to come back for their second restart of the race after the caution flag has came out for the second time here. A pretty fairly clean race. They've knocked out a couple of cautions, but not many. A lot of more racing, if anything, and we still got a long way to go. We still got 33 laps to go here, and I mean, it's Katie bar the door. It's not over yet.
Yeah, and I mean, we say 33 laps left, still a long way to go, but it's going to happen fast. Once these drivers get going and things kind of settle in, if you will, they're going to be clicking off the laps left and right, and the time is going to go away very quickly on how long you have to get to the front. And I think that may be why we see some of the great racing action that we've already seen as the Ford Mustang pace truck moving out of the way. We'll get set to fire things back off once again. Green flag flies as the field hits the loud pedal back across the stripe, heading back towards turn number 1.
Turn 1, it'll give them about a lap or so to get up to full song, but when they do virtually, they'll be back at that whip at 180 miles an hour again. Off of turn number 2, full speed to the back straightaway. It's going to be Torres out in front. Rochelle, Wilson, Rolls, Gray, Fulton, all in the top 5, and they're back at it 2x2 again as they work their way off turn 4.
2x2 back at it once again off of 4. The 11 slots in that 4th spot. Now it looks like Fulton trying to make something work on that high side, trying to make the spot up from Polini. Polini's right there on Gray's rear bumper, and now it looks like we're starting to see some of that single file action unfold. It looks like the bottom of the racetrack is where all these truck drivers are trying to fight their way to, as the 11 looks to the inside of the 12 of Rochelle right now. Can he make the pass work? Not going to happen this time. Big moment there by Rochelle. A little bit loose coming off of 4.
Rochelle got just a little loose there and is able to gather it back into the bottom of the racetrack to keep from sandbagging up the speedway. He'll carry Fulton, though, with him in the 7 truck. He's there on the back straightaway. They'll nestle themselves back down single file. 2 wide in a couple of spots in the back behind the top 10. But nonetheless, the top 5 stay single file, nose to tail, as they exit off turn 4 with Torres out in front. Rolls creeping up on the outside lane.
Yeah, and trying to go back to give you some of the action going on back through the field. Don't want to stay just up here at the front end, but it is one of the closest battles here. Most important battle at that. Right there for your race lead. Now side-by-side battle for second place as Rolls going to take, or look to take, that spot away from Rochelle.
Torres up the outside lane, back down to the middle lane. Here comes now Brett Rolls, open up the door to the outside. He'll get some help from Rochelle in the 11. The orange 11 gives him a putt in the pants to the outside lane, but still no one can clear by Torres. Torres, 2 truck lengths back out in front there, door-to-door to second. Rolls hung out to dry on the outside lane out of 2.
And that outside lane just doesn't seem to have the momentum that we're accustomed to seeing. And just as I say that 17 pulls just barely clear enough to secure that second spot and kind of begin to build his gap. So finally that outside run prevailing. Took a little bit longer than what I personally am accustomed to seeing. That high side run generally pays off within a lap or 2, but right there, Rolls had to be on it for about 4 or 5 laps before it eventually paid off. Now side-by-side battle just behind them. Looks like that is between Garrett Mays and Critchley, and Critchley's not going away, making Maines work for that position.
Maines and Critchley, by the way, on the podium earlier in race number 1 at the Roval. A crossover move with Maines now up to the outside lane. He'll clear Critchley and Fulton's truck as they'll work their way off of turn 2, hitting the back straightaway. Now they'll fan back out single file again as they work their way up the backstretch into 3.
And as the field makes their way through 3 and 4 and back towards the stripe, we're going to cross the line this time to make it halfway here in event number 2 in the Trick or Treat Triples sponsored by Outlaw eSports in partnership with Phantom Graphics. And so far tonight, it has been a great night for racing action. The Roval did not disappoint, and so far here tonight at Charlotte Motorspeedway on the high banks, these drivers have put on a show as well. Your top four, all nose to tail still. As we run around the track through 3 and 4, Torres still your race leader, has Rochelle, Rolls, and Gray in tow.
Critchley bounced off the wall. I don't know if you caught that or not there, Dave, as he came through the double dog leg. A little shower of sparks came from the back end of Critchley's truck. No harm, no foul, though, but he will lose that spot and lose the ground on the top 5 as they work their way to the back straightaway.
And looks like he's actually losing even more ground now as the 7 of Fulton looks to the inside. Critchley gonna look to try to maintain that spot. No, the 17
rolls off the pace.
Way down off the pace and on the apron there. Looks like he's coming to pit road. So maybe not enough fuel in the tank for that 17 to make it all the way to the end. We've got 24 laps remaining as Torres continues to lead Rochelle. Gray in third and Maines now up to fourth. Critchley slots in the last spot inside your top 5.
Very unusual for Brett Rolls to come down to the pit lane. That is definitely going to be an unscheduled pit stop for that number 17, giving up that position. But here comes more trucks onto the pit lane as well. Adamson's on the pit lane and a couple more to boot. While that goes on, the race continues with the leaders going back to turn number 1.
Yeah, now Kyle Rochelle takes over the race lead as Torres came to pit road that last time by. So I believe when we seen the 17 hit pit road, I believe it was a calculated, scheduled pit stop. I don't think these drivers have enough fuel to make it, so all of them going to be coming to pit road just like that. Here comes Rochelle.
Yeah, Rochelle's onto the pit lane. This will cycle back around. The man that bounced off the wall was Critchley. He's now in the lead, but the caution is out. And all those trucks that were mired in the back on the pit lane now that pits are going to be in trouble. They're going to be stuck behind the back, and now, unless the rest of those drivers come to the pit lane, they're going to lose valuable track position as the caution is out for the 3rd time here with 22 to go in race 2.
And we'll take a look back here with the turn 3 replay, see what happened. Looks like the 5 of William Alcoa caught up in that one. Oh, yeah, contact there. And just a little bit, I don't want to necessarily say a punt, but a little bit of a push.
Had some help.
And, yeah, definitely had some helping into that outside wall. So the 5 of Alcoa, after a tough finish to the end of the Roval, has things not really play out his way here on the high banks of the oval. And it looks like most of the drivers there, Wesley, looks like most of those drivers that stayed out are going to pit. And that's going to be, excuse me, and that's going to be fortunate for drivers like Torres, as well as Rolls and Polini, Fulton. All of those drivers had already made their pit stop. So luckily for them, the entire field does come down pit road in front of them. They're going to get the wave around in lucky dogs and find themselves back up with the lead pack, back on the lead lap. But they are going to be behind the rest of these drivers that stayed out and timed it right, played their cards right, and sitting pretty now at the front is that 47 machine of Dale Adamson. And weren't we just talking about him having a little bit of a rough night? And now look at him right here, top spot.
The young man out of Sanford, Florida, making his professional racing debut, a matter of fact, tonight here in the Outlaw Trick or Treat Triples. Normally he runs a couple of practice sessions, if you will, just kind of building up his resume, gathering experiences, and right now he is the man that came out of the pits first in truck number 47. Gotta wonder if any of these other trucks in front of him are going to come down to the pit lane, or if they're wave around vehicles, they'll take advantage of the wave around at the one to go. But there you see Will Duvall, but it looks like officially father, son, Dale and Mike Adamson, 1 and 2. Garrett Maines, 3rd. Curtis Critchley, 4th. And it looks like Wilson will be in the top 5.
Absolutely right with that. That's the exact top 5 running order. And then from that top 5, 6th place, Randy Joyner, then Ricky Howell Jr., Andrew Navarro, James Morgan in 9th. Rounding out your top 10 will be Matt Tritchler.
The lights are still on the pace car as we are under caution after that incident with William Alcala. Alcala going around there in turn number 3. Yeah, he kind of had a little help. But the race continues on. We are 30 laps in, 20 laps to go in race number 2. Coming up next, as soon as we finish this race and have top 3 interviews, we will then go to the dirt track and sling some dirt for the main event of the evening at the dirt track at Charlotte. 50 laps, and that should be an exciting one. That'll be fun.
That's going to be a fun one. It's going to be an exciting one, and it's going to be a fast one over there on that quarter-mile clay. The dirt track at Charlotte is always known to put on a show, and if you've never been there, I highly suggest you put it on your bucket list. You will not be disappointed. The dirt track at Charlotte always lending its hand to some great racing action. And with all the great racing action that we've seen so far here tonight, Wesley, there's no possible way that event number 3 here, the final event in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples on the Turn 3 Racing Network, there's no way that thing is not going to live up to the hype and the expectations. It is going to be a showstopper.
Yeah, I don't think that race is going to disappoint at all. And by the way, you mentioned head on out there to Charlotte Motorspeedway this weekend. If you're in the area, go on out there to the dirt track, get yourself a pit pass. Follow social distancing if you can with the COVID restrictions, and go on to the World Short Track Championship. The 5th running of the Dryden World Short Track Championship is underway. They, of course, got washed out last night for Thursday's program. They had an afternoon hot lap session. They ran Friday night's program, and then they got the big shows with all the money on the line tomorrow. By the way, they got one race, the Pro Late Model race. If somebody takes the opportunity, the front row, to tag the back, and they come back through the field and they win the race, the Dryden Double Down is going to pay them $8,000 to win. You automatically gets $4,000 to win, but if you take that challenge, one of the drivers on the front row, or if both of them do that, whoever wins the race, it will be the winner of an $8,000 payday. And then, of course, if you get a chance also next week, the World of Outlaw World Finals postponed this year because of COVID, like a lot of other things across the country. But they are having the World of Outlaws Last Call, which will be the late models on Wednesday and Thursday night. Friday and Saturday night will be the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Just a lot of cool things going on virtually as we get ready to go back to the restart at the dirt track. Real things going on there. So make sure you can try to join them at America's Home for Racing.
Absolutely right. And back on the gas. Green flag flies once again.
3 wide, 4 wide, contact. Howell off the apron, down below the line, drifts back up the speedway. Wow.
Lot of action, lot of craziness going on the restart there. 3-4 wide, beating, banging, bumping doors. Back across the stripe, almost 3 wide for the race lead at the front of the field. Man, oh man, things getting to starting to pick up, business starting to pick up as the laps wind down. 17 laps left to go here in event number 2.
Main's in the middle. He goes from the outside to the top shelf, down to the bottom of the speedway. Runs up in the Angels Expressway. He's in the wall. He's in the contact. Adamson goes around. More contact. More trucks spinning. Brett rolls in the tri-oval. Critchley in the tri-oval. Church in the tri-oval. They're all crashing into turn number 4. And it all started with Garrett Maines, the Roval winner of race 1. Crashed, smashed, and trashed here in race 2 with 16 to go.
Yeah, there you see just some of the aftermath. We'll try to back it up. Not going to be able to catch all of it there, but a lot of drivers after Garrett Maines made contact with the outside wall and then having some more trouble coming back down the track, collecting a few other drivers. So multiple drivers involved in this one. Looks like Tritzler, Gray, Polini, Adamson, Maines, all involved in this latest incident.
Brett Rolls, Critchley's involved.
Yeah, Brett Rolls also involved in that one. I missed his name on that one. Missed that one. So about 6 or 7 looks like involved in this latest one.
Yeah, they just got scattered, smothered, and covered on the dog leg with a virtual Metal Omelet Mayhem of Destruction there. Yeah.
A ton of Waffle House references right there for you.
Well, I didn't drop the Waffle House line, but you got my point. You got it.
Yeah, and you know, fortunately for me, you know, I know a lot of the big guys there at Waffle House, so if they come knocking about anything, I can kind of talk my way out of it. I'll go over there, talk to Mitch Scandinopoulos, and he'll take care of me, take care of all the stuff. He's over all the loss prevention and things of that nature for the company. Seriously, I know all these guys now. They kind of let me slide by with some things with Waffle House and here and there. So big shout out to Waffle House, by the way.
That's always been, Dave, one of my favorite lines. But as long as I've ever been announcing racing, real or virtual, if we have the big wreck, I'll always say, open up a Waffle House. They're scattered, smothered, and covered with a virtual omelet mayhem of destruction. So
I like it. I like it.
Hey, by the way, they are saying that the race is over. The race is over. I guess we have passed the time limit. This race was on a time limit. This race is over.
Ooh, interesting little development here.
Yeah.
Oh, my. Well, I tell you what, normally for the oval side of racing, I don't typically put this ticker up, but we'll take a look at it right here.
No. My apologies. Brent Rose says my race is over. Or sorry, not the race is over, but my race is over. I'm sorry. False alarm.
It's all good. It's all right. We'll shut the lights off, turn the water up, back on, and go back at it. No harm, no
Brent
foul,
Rose,
no
I
worries.
just want to strangle you right now, virtually, giving me that false information. You're making me think the race is over. His race is over. He's all tore up. And by the way, he's talking to me in the chat box, and he is not happy right now with what happened. A lot of good drivers tore up, and his race is over. He'll have to try to reset, come back to the dirt track. And by the way, he's good on the dirt, so we'll see it out here. The trucks on dirt at Charlotte. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, that's definitely something to see. And I was, you know, just because you said trucks, there were stadium trucks. Got to witness that over at the dirt track at Charlotte. That was amazing. But, you know, we're going to wait and see what these truck drivers can do, not just over there at the dirt track. First, they got to finish and handle the business at hand right here on the high banks of Charlotte Motorspeedway. The 151 of Bradley Wilson will restart the race on the inside. Curtis Critchley right there to his outside. Here's the 88 for the first time inside the top five. Randy Joyner going to start second row inside lane. Big start. Big spin of the tires there for Wilson. And away he goes. Looks like he caught most of the field sleeping.
Back for the restart. Wilson taking off into turn number 1 and 2. Brings him up to speed there. Critchley, even though he got damage from that last wreck, he'll still hang in there in second spot. And the 88 truck now is going to be Randy Joyner in third. He's got a good run. And we got another truck spinning bottom of the apron. William McCalla goes down below the inside, smashes hard driver's side into the concrete. Caution will come out with 13 laps to go.
Yeah, it looked like, excuse me, a little bit of contact between that 5, and I couldn't quite make out that other number right there going by. I believe that may be, yeah.
36. Yeah.
Contact and around and hard impact for that 5, and if he hasn't used his fast repair, he's going to have to after that latest incident. And now we find ourselves under caution for the 4th time now, Wesley. 4th or 5th to be exact, not quite sure. I lost kind of track account when I got past two fingers.
Fifth caution. This is the 5th caution, yeah. This is the 5th one. And here's my thing. I wonder if we can see the replay of it one more time. It looks like maybe the 5 got crossed up in front of Adamson's truck, and then Adamson had nowhere to go. Look at that. I mean, I know it happened so fast, but it looks like Adamson really just kind of tagged him because the 5 drifted up in front of him and had nowhere to go. It happened so quickly.
Yeah, well, we'll look at it one more time, and there you see, yeah, it looks like the 5 was just kind of coming down just a little bit,
yeah.
And, you know, Adamson nowhere to go, no harm, no fault of his own. Contact being made, and around the 5 went, and, you know, the 5 seen better days, but he'll try to get that thing repaired, straightened out, and back up towards the front of the field. There you see him on pit road right now, beating and banging on that 5 machine, trying to get it all fixed up. We'll go back up front with your race leader, the 151 of Bradley Wilson, as he's got the field back behind the Ford Mustang pace car. The pace car light's going to go off, I do believe, this time by. The field will have the 1 to go, so just a lap and a half before we get back green flag racing. And I tell you what, Wesley, I haven't done it to you yet here tonight. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's going to walk away in victory lane here in event number 2?
Critchley, number 54. That's who I think he's going to be. 54 Critchley. That's who I think is going to win the race. Yep.
Well,
second pick will be Navarro. Dark horse will be Navarro, since your nickname's Darkside Dave.
I like it. I like that one. And you know, you answered that rather quickly, so I'm a little concerned that you know something about Critchley that I just haven't found out yet. You didn't hesitate one, like not even a split second. You went right to Critchley, and I don't want to say unfortunately enough,
well,
but
Maines was in the field in the front. I'd say Maines, you know, which, by the way, he's not out of it just yet. He's in 10th. But, I mean, we got 10 laps to go. It'll be 9 remaining when they take back the green flag. Well, no, we're still going to stay under caution. Wow, so it looks like now it's going to be 8 to go if we do get the green flag, not 9 to go, as we go another lap under caution. But, you know, there's a lot of heavy hitters in the field. I mean, you know, I'd say Navarro, he's one of those picks I'd say keep an eye on. But like I told you, the 54 of Curtis Critchley, he won a race at Daytona earlier in the year that I was a part of. He's been competitive. He's had some good finishes in the last month or so, building up his resume and experience. So, yeah, I'm going to say Curtis Critchley to win race number 2. And, by the way, he was on the podium in race number 1 and 3rd.
Absolutely looking to excuse me. My goodness, sorry, yelling during wrestling practice usually doesn't translate to good speaking voice later. But looking to translate a podium finish into another podium finish. And if he can do that, he may end up being one of the only drivers that's able to podium in all 3 races. Keep in mind, race fans out there watching, these drivers not only are paid for winning each race here tonight in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples, there's going to be points paid out to the driver that has the best overall or / average finish. So if you're able to walk away on the podium in all 3 races, you've put yourself pretty much at the front of the field for that overall best finisher prize. And Critchley, it looks like he's the only one that's going to be able to do that at this point in time. So maybe that pick of yours will shine. We'll have to wait and see here. Another 8 laps before we find out who is the race winner in the podium spots. But I expect some more 3-4 wide here. We've seen it last restart, Wesley, and I think these drivers are going to do it again.
Yeah, we might have another caution. This race might not be over just yet. It's going to be 8 remaining when they make their way back to the Toyota restart zone and take the green flag. But again, there's still 8 laps left to go. There's still some hard racing left. And these guys, I mean, I'll be honest with you, what a phenomenal 50-lap feature this has been. 40 laps down, or 42 laps down, 8 remaining when they take the green. These guys, since the drop of the green, Dave, have put on a phenomenal show, like quickly, hard racing, not lifting, not backing off, if you would say, per se, kind of playing possum. They have quickly been at the whip, racing with each other, being competitive. It's been a good show. And again, we're just carrying all this momentum into the end of race number 2, and it's on across the road to the dirt track for the nightcap.
And nightcap going to be underway in just 8 more laps. Green flag flies as the 151 nails the gas, and away we go. Critchley got caught sleeping just a little bit. He's going to slide in second without any problems, but here comes Maines. Caught him out of the corner of my eye here, making big moves on this restart.
The question is, does he have enough time right now? He's nestled in the top 10 in 9th. He'll work his way down the straightaway, up on the outside lane of the top shelf. where Grandma hides the cookies from Grandpa in the Angels Expressway as they work their way off 4. Critchley looking for the lead on Wilson as they come to the line side by side. Critchley out in front.
Critchley gonna power around and take the race lead. 54 looking sweet at the front, but here comes another run on the outside. Navarro now crosses back to the inside. Halfway down the backstretch, now looking to the inside of turn number 3, looking to snatch that second spot away. Looks like Wilson way up the track. Here comes Navarro on the inside, right on Critchley's rear deck lid, looking for the inside into turn number 1. Nope, gonna stay right there tucked in just behind him. Move Navarro back into second as Wilson begins to struggle. Rochelle and Torres now join this fight.
And not only that, Gary Maines is coming through the field as well. He's moved his way from 10th to 5th in less than 2 laps. They work their way out of turn number 4. They'll come to the line. Flagman will show 5 to go, the open hand. Meanwhile, Wilson hung out to dry on the outside lane. Critchley throws the block on him. Navarro on the inside looking for the lead under Critchley as they work their way off turn 2.
Will that high side work? Can he high side hustle that 151 machine back into the top spot? Looking to take the second spot away. He's going to be able to do so now. Slowly pulling in front. Coming off of turn 4. Does he have enough room? Almost scraping the wall. And around goes the 88.
Maines got turned by Joyner. A couple of other trucks go spinning in the triangle grass as well. There you see the end result. And the caution is out.
Gonna take a look back with the turn 3 replay. Here you go. 2 wide now. Looking 3 wide.
3 wide.
Just not enough room. Nowhere to go. Looked like the 88 wasn't sure.
He got stuck in the wall. Holy cow.
Ooh.
He hit the wall so hard virtually got stuck in it. Quickly sent to the pits.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. We'll look at this caution one more time here, taking a bird's eye view of Maines as he goes spinning.
Going 3 wide through the tri-oval, through the dog leg, if you will, at the start-finish line, and you saw Maines hook the left rear of, the number 88 truck of Joyner. I mean, pretty much Randy Joyner had nowhere to go. He got hooked in the left rear by Maines, and from there on, it just pretty much blocked the path. The cloud of smoke virtually on the front stretch, and everyone else just piled in. They got collected, and luckily some virtue or saving grace was the infield grass, but this will pretty much eliminate Garrett Maines' opportunity to try to win this race and try to sweep the whole deal.
And what that does right now, that's actually going to bring an end to the official race distance. We're going to meet that mileage without any questions asked, and that's going to set us up for our first attempt at a green-white checkered. It's going to be overtime here on the high banks of Charlotte Motorspeedway. Regular time, just not enough for these drivers to give you enough excitement. They wanted a few extra laps.
So here's the thing, and this is the only thing that I would say could possibly make it be a 1-lap shootout. If they come back around and they take the 1 to go at 2 to go, when the pace car comes in, they'll have a 1-lap shootout because they're still on the scheduled race distance. But I don't see that happening, like you said. I think we're going to set ourselves up for overtime, and this should be a pretty crazy race, and one that's already been really good anyway. This is only 50 laps, by the way. Normally we see 200 milers or, races more distance come down to the wire like this, and this has only been a 50-lap sprint.
Yeah, this is essentially a stage end in what normal races would be, what normal race distances and lengths would be. So not too surprised to see the racing action so hot and heavy or frantic at the front. But as you said, I mean, just a 50-lap shootout, and there has been nonstop racing action lap after lap. Not just at the front. These drivers, they've been mixing it up all the way through the field, back in 10th, 11th, 12th position, fighting 2-3 laps at a time for it. We've seen drivers come from the back to the front. We've seen drivers go from the front to the back, comers and goers. And I wonder who's got what it takes to put it in victory lane. You said Critchley. He's looking like he's got a nice shot at this one. He'll have control of the restart once we do go back green flag racing. And it looks like with the Ford Mustang pace light staying on here, Wesley, looks like we are going to end up with this green-white checkered finish. And we'll just have to see if they get it done in one or if we'll have a reset and go after it for a second time.
And by the way, you asked me who did I pick to win, and I said Critchley. My dark horse, Navarro, he's right there nestled behind him. And, again, those drivers have been really, really doing good in the trucks, so keep an eye on them. I think that they're going to be up there when something happens here for the finish. Yeah.
And the more I think about it as we are under caution here, and I can let my mind venture over across the road, across North 29 over there, across Highway 29 to the dirt track. Who's been running these things? Who's been running these trucks on the dirt long enough this week or in the previous weeks to get a good feel for what the truck needs? And have they run enough laps to know what it's going to do once it finally slicks over? Charlotte Motorspeedway can be pretty tricky if you don't know where those slick lines are, where the rubber's built up, where the track begins to slick up. So I can't wait to see what the next event holds, let alone what the end of this event number 2 here in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples. Man, it hasn't disappointed all night long. Green-white checkered finish to this one. Man, what more could you ask for?
So let's explain the rules here with Critchley on in front, Wilson on the outside, Navarro in third. This is the rules of overtime. If they're following the same NASCAR rule book, this is the rules of overtime. If they take the green flag, race underway. If a caution comes out, they'll re-rack them, restack them, we'll go again. If the leader takes the white flag and they wreck, the race is official. After the leader takes the white flag, if they crash, the race is official. If there is a caution before the leader takes the white flag, we re-rack them, restack them, we go back to overtime. And again, on the third attempt, if it comes to that, if they take the green flag and they crash or they take the white flag, next flag ends the race. So there is your description of overtime. It should be a good one here at Charlotte. The pace car gets ready to drop onto the pit lane. We are ready for overtime number 1 as the field works inside the Toyota restart zone. Critchley, Wilson on the front row. Overtime 1 and away we're underway, Mike. And here we go, Dave. Let's see what happens.
Green flag back in the air. Who's going to get it to the end? Will we stay green flag to the end, or will we re-rack them one more time as Critchley makes his way through turns 1 and 2? Looks like Navarro trying to chase him back down and regain that top spot. Wilson not folding just yet. Now looking back to the inside, he's behind your race leader, Critchley, as Critchley close battle here off of 4. Navarro looking for the high side. Oh, my.
They never took the white. Caution's out. They never took the white flag.
Oh my goodness.
There goes Wilson. Several other trucks smashed and crashed. He's stuck on the retaining wall to the catch fence. Bradley, Wilson, a couple of other trucks all tore up. Look at this. Oh my goodness.
My.
Holy cow.
That is a rough
another
one.
Flipping through the air in turn 1 out of the dog leg as well. There was another truck flying through the air. I want to say that might be the 2 truck. Ricky Howell possibly.
Oh, yes. That is that 2 of Ricky Howell. Hard impact and then back over the top. And I tell you what, we've got an onboard camera here. Let's see what the cockpit looks like here. And
wow.
Oh my goodness,
Oh, my
there
goodness.
it goes. There it goes. Yep, I won out.
I have to say, in all of my years, 2 tenures now of announcing iRacing broadcast or esports, that is probably one of the wildest crashes I have ever seen in an iRacing broadcast. Wow. I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of the crazy finish between Ryan Newman and Corey LaJoie at Daytona.
It's somewhat, yeah, had a little bit of mix of almost reminded me of Austin Dillon too there for a while.
Dillon's track at Daytona as well. Yeah.
So a very I don't want to necessarily say a scary moment because it's in the virtual world here. You know, nobody's going to get hurt, but
key and you start over. But I mean, yeah.
Still, that's if any of the fans out there could know how these drivers the emotions run, I'm sure it almost they flinch when they hit the wall hard like that. You almost flinch just like it's real life. You get that immersed into what you're doing here on the iRacing platform. That had to be a tough one. And looks like Navarro looks like his engine is spent, smoking right now, just trying to make it around back to the pit lane. Yeah, it looks like, Navarro shaking the truck around, and yep, he's going to make that right-hander.
Yeah, he's going to give up second.
Or left hand, I'm sorry. That's a left-hand turn on the pit road. I don't know why. I thought it was right. Right, he's going over to the dirt track. And with that machine smoking right now, that just may be what he's going to do. Maybe climbing out of that 42 truck. We'll have to wait and see if he can get it all fixed up. But your pick still sitting at the front, Wesley. Me and you might hit up Harris here in a couple weeks if this plays out for you.
Yeah. We'll see what happens as he's got a good, strong run going for him right now. Critchley in that 54. But now here comes Torres. And Torres is no slouch either, man. Torres is a really good driver in that 07, so don't count him out.
And, I mean, look at Fulton right there. We spoke about
third.
Fulton earlier. Now look at him right there knocking on the door of the podium. Looks like he'll line up in fourth, second car or second truck outside row on this next restart. So don't
Maines
count
is
Fulton
up to
out.
7th, by the way. Maines is in 7th. They're going to be doubled up for the restart here, Dave. Maines is in 7th. He is climbing back up through the field.
Yeah, just slowly but surely, methodically making his way back up through the field. We seen him through the grass at one point in time, into the outside wall at another point in time in the race. But Garrett Maines, last event's a winner, not quite having the race he wanted here in event number 2 in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. But as you've already said, it's not over yet. It's a green-white checker to finish. Coming from 7th, it's somewhat on the outside looking in, but it can be done. And I think Maines may be the man to get the job done.
And you got to think, too, as the lights are off on the pace car, we're getting ready for Attempt 2 in overtime here for Race 2 at Charlotte in the Trick or Treat Triples. You literally got to think, they're not single file. They're doubled up. So literally all of the distance that Maines would have with having to go by 6 trucks is now cut in half by 3 because the field is going to be side by side. So he's literally cut that interval he had from them in half.
Yeah, the space going to be cut in half, but the what's the word? I don't. The fortitude. I'm not going to say the first part of that is definitely going to be in full effect. It's going to be all give. I mean, all take, no give. These drivers, final laps. It's all or nothing. They're going to be full throttle, pedal to the metal, flat out for sure.
Here we go. It's Critchley along with Torres on the outside lane. Overtime number 2 in race 2 of the inaugural Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triples presented by Graphics into turn number 1. It's Critchley, but Torres right behind him, half a truck length back while they're battled for third, nestled off of turn 2.
And that's a good sight for Critchley and Torres to see Polini, Fulton, and Gray battling back there for that 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot. And contact!
Oh, contact! Fountains in the wall. He collects Polini. He collects some more trucks and more. Problems out of turn 4, overtime. Number 3 coming up is Charlotte.
In the 51 of Polini is stuck on the barrels at the entrance to pit road.
This is the 3rd truck in a row we've seen get crashed here, Dave, and they've hit the wall or they've damaged so badly they cannot get off the walls. They can't get off the barriers. They can't get off the sand traps, the sand buckets, like what's happened to Pete Polini. What a tough break. The man out of Sands, Michigan. He was the on the rail packs fall brawl champion for the super late models, and again now all trashed his truck. And we're going to do this again. The 3rd attempt coming up for the trucks of a green white checker finish.
And there you see, looking down pit road right now, looking at Pete Polini down in his pit box, working on that machine. There you can see 6 cars on pit road being worked on, all trying to get back out there and maybe make up possible one position here or there. Looks like, unfortunately, most of those drivers on pit road not going to be able to get back out, and that's going to leave us with just 9 drivers left on the lead lap, Wesley. And I think all 9 they've got a shot here, because all it's going to take is getting around one time, and then it's pretty much a free-for-all from that point in time. Once that white flag flies on this 3rd and final attempt at a green-white checkered, that's kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of all she wrote. It's a free-for-all.
If they take the white flag, or even if they wreck, even if they get another caution at the green flag before they take the white flag, race is official. It's done. It's over. And by the way, Garrett Maines is up to 4th.
Wow. Well, he was 7th there on that last restart, and we did have those 3 drivers all kind of tangle with each other right there, and all 3 of them down onto pit road. So there you have it. You don't necessarily even have to pass the drivers. Sometimes the drivers let you pass them by themselves.
I think we only have like 5 or 6 trucks left on the racetrack, and that's it.
Yeah, not a very big field at this point. There you see them right there. It looks to be
8.
about 8 actually out there, and that's the only 8 drivers on the lead lap. So there you have it, all 8 with a shot at it. But I don't know. I'm kind of liking Critchley's chances now, but now that Maines has moved into 4th, I don't think he's going to be a slouch here on this final restart. I think he's going to be absolutely after it, and if you got to use that bumper, well, so be it.
It could possibly come after him. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I told you, he's like, 7th or 8th on the restart, and then bam, he's right back there again. And I mean, he's good enough to be able to close in there and run him down. Curtis Critchley out in front, the driver out of Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. He finished 3rd in race number 1 here at the Roval. And now he is out in front. The man beside him is Torres. We'll see what that man can do in the 07, Jared Torres from California. What kind of rap job is on his truck? Is that the Simpsons?
That is the Halloween Simpsons. And when I say the Halloween Simpsons, I'll tell you what, I don't typically use some of these cameras just because they're not realistic. But here you go. There you go. You got Ned Flanders, the devil, right there sitting on the back quarter. I believe that's Maggie flying with the cat on the broom.
Yeah, I see a witch with the cat. Meow.
And then I don't know what's going on. Homer looks pretty weird. He looks like a blue machine or something on the back there. Very cool little scheme there. And there you see another shot of it. There's what's his name? The old guy, Mr. Burns. There you go, Mr. Burns. The old guy.
Eat my shorts, man. You better never lay a finger on my butterfinger.
Right?
The lights are off on the pace car, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready for the third and final attempt of overtime. So here we go. If the leader takes the green flag, if they wreck before the white, if they take the white, if they crash at the white, race will be over. This is your last chance to bring this to the finish, boys. And I don't know if they can keep from crashing coming to the checkered flag. Honestly, Dave, I don't know.
I mean, there's a good possibility we're going to see another crash. I don't know whether or not it's going to be before the white flag or not, but I do believe we're going to see at least two of these trucks wadded up before the end of it.
Right there, Alcala is in third. Alcala crashed, smashed, and trashed earlier, has a chance to win this race. And so does also Garrett Maines alongside. Here they come, back to green. Critchley gets the jump on Torres. Maines will go to the outside. To the inside goes Alcala. He's got some blinking issues, some netcode problems as they go into turn one.
Yeah, it looks like it's all going to sort itself out there for Alcala. But Critchley walking away from the field now. He's got himself just about a 0.2 of a second gap. And he's just got to get around the track about one more time coming through 3 and 4. Gonna see the white flag displayed for the first time here. After 3 attempts at trying to see it, white flag flies. One more lap to go for the 54.
Final time into turn number 1 and 2. Critchley will go to the whip. He'll stay to the inside of the racetrack. Half a truck length back is going to be Torres. Torres will power back up and reel in on the draft. He's stuck to the outside lane. Maines falls back to third. Wheeling and Dillon inside and outside. Final time as they work out of 4.
Final time out of 4 for your race leader, Critchley. He's got Torres right there looking to the inside. Not gonna be there in time. Critchley gonna walk away with the race win. After a podium finish last race, he's gonna improve on that podium spot and up into the top spot, walking away with the race win. Torres gonna finish in second, and Garrett Maines with a great run. Maines all the way up, back into the podium spots, back into the third position. My goodness, that was another crazy finish to another great race here by the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples drivers.
And Dave, Dark Side Dave, did I know how to pick them or did I know how to pick them?
I told you, buddy, we're heading to Cherokee.
Oh man! And how about Garrett Maines to come back and finish third, redeeming himself as well? But look at him driving in reverse.
I can honestly say I've never seen a burnout attempt in reverse.
There, brother. Look at that.
that is unique for sure. I'll just leave it at that. Unique for sure on the race win celebration there. Excuse me, for Critchley in that 54 machine. And just listen to that engine rumble. Absolutely love that.
By the way, where Wilson got crashed, I think he got back to 5th. Yes, he did. He got 5th. Torres 2nd. Maines 3rd. Alcala, after his crashes in the race, comes back and finishes 4th. Wilson 5th. All those drivers with problems coming back and redeeming themselves. But when it's all said and done, from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, it is the driver of Mr. Curtis Critchley in the 54, winning race 2 of the Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triples, presented by Phantom Graphics here at Charlotte.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, get things set up for your post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole from Dawsonville, Georgia, in the number 9 Coors Ford qualifying and Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. second win of 1987.
Back trackside here at Charlotte Motorspeedway, race number 2 in the books for the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples. And I tell you what, that's given me an opportunity to catch up with the driver finishing in third here tonight, Garrett Maines, walking away with another podium here. You alluded there in your race win interview in race number 1 here in the Trick or Treat Triples that weren't quite sure about the oval here. You had some issues, but drove your way back to the front and into a podium spot. How you feeling after that?
Honestly, like I said, I expected it. I don't know. The first incident didn't do anything. Like, my plan was to pit anyway for fuel, so I was going to the back. I didn't care. But I just kept taking fuel, just staying back there, staying out of trouble. You know, I drove back up to the front. Then they started pitting, and I'm not sure why the guy pitted from the second groove when the two guys on the inside groove were pitting as well, but he didn't call it out, so I'm right behind him. That rips my nose off. And then there were some other incidents where I was being super patient. They were blocking, so I go to the outside, and we all know how that one ended. It's just that was really, really frustrating. But in the end, I mean, it all came back around full circle. I ended up getting back up into the top 3, and that makes it a tie with me and me and Curtis. So this will be very interesting going to the dirt track. I told him no pressure.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. You and Curtis basically tied heading into the third and final event here in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples. I got to ask you, just because I got to, who do you think's going to walk away with that best average? Do you think you're gonna take that spot, or you think maybe Curtis will?
I'm just going to close my mouth and say you'll have to wait and see. Because
smart man.
You see, last time I said that I thought I was going to finish poorly, and, well, it actually came true. But this time I'll jinx myself. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and we can see how it plays out.
All right, my man. Well, thank you for giving us a little bit of time here after race number 2. We won't hold you any longer. So you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that car?
Yeah, I got to thank Smithfield 101 CBD, SimSeats, Strickland Hardy, Lennox. Just hopefully we can get back to the victory lane for the dirt track race. And I've been waiting on this one. I definitely like this track, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, brother. Well, good luck. Elbows up.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you have it. Some few final parting words from the driver finishing in third here in race number 2 in the Outlaws Trick or Treat or Triples. And I believe, Wesley, you've had a chance to catch up with the driver that finished in second.
I have. I've got Jared Torres in the 07. Jared, man, you tried everything you could with the Simpsons ride. You got to settle for the bridesmaid spot. Triple overtime. Crazy race here at Charlotte. What's your take on it?
It was a circus. Everybody was running into everybody out there, and when Garrett was going 3 wide, they're giving him no room, and I was trying to give him room on the bottom, and they're still pinching him up the track. So it was just basically surviving the race.
Talk about just the last restart, did you try to, it seemed like you were trying to get a run on the outside. Was that the best way to get around the racetrack, or was it pretty much Critchley protecting the bottom and nobody could get around him?
I was going to the outside to cross him up to come out of turn 4 on the bottom, but then a caution flag came out and I was below him, but then the flag came out and yeah, and I just didn't have the power because my car was already pretty hurt.
How do you think you're going to do on the dirt coming up here at Charlotte?
Not good. Not good at all. I'll be lucky to make a lap.
All right, man. Thank your sponsors.
Just Phantom's graphics.
California's Jared Torres will finish in the number 2 position, and they'll get ready to go to the dirt track here coming up next. Right now, my partner, Darkside Dave, is caught up with the winner, Curtis Critchley. And by the way, he was my pick to win this race. He pulled it off in the truck race.
That he did. Your pick to win. I don't want to make him any happier than he, excuse me, already is. But walking away with the race win here in race number 2 in the Outlaw Trick or Treat Triples. Critchley, man, you're tied heading into this final race. I asked Maines who he thought was going to have it. He wouldn't answer. Who do you think? You think you're going to walk away with that overall best finish? Or do you think maybe somebody might edge you out here?
Sure, I'll have the hot take, even though I'm not sure if I believe in it. I'm going to win it tonight. So I have never run a truck on dirt, so let's see how this goes.
Well, brave and bold statement. Never run a truck on dirt, but, gonna put yourself in the hot seat and say you're going to walk away with the best overall finish. That's a tall task, but hey, man, I like it. I like the commitment and the confidence, man. I like it.
Confidence is key.
That it is, man. Well, you had a great race out here on the oval, backing up a great finish on the Roval. We'll look to see if you can't do that across the street on the quarter mile clay over there at the dirt track at Charlotte. Heck of a job, heck of a finish, heck of a race win. Before we let you go and celebrate on your way across the street, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, thank any of the sponsors, anybody on the side of the car?
Sounds good. I'd like to thank B-Leaf, especially Steven. Amazing get you in victory lane there. And also Phantom Graphics for all the awesome paint schemes out here on track. And also 7 Seas Cruises. And I'd also like to thank Randy. He gave me a good gift today at dinner, so thank you for that.
All right, my man. Well, we look forward to catching up with you here in just the next few moments across the street at the good old dirt track. Good luck and elbows up.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, there you have it. That was your post-race interview with your race winner, driver of the 54 machine, Curtis Critchley. And with that being said, let's go ahead and do some official business here. Let's give you your final rundown, your unofficial race results for race number 2 here in the Outlaws Trick or Treats Triples. And if maybe I can hit the buttons, and they might end up working for you at some point in time. And once again, 2.5 hours into a job, and you kind of lose your mind sometimes,
Yes.
Curtis Critchley going to walk away with the race win. 54 machine slotting into a podium spot in both of the first 2 races. Can he do it once again in the 3rd race across the street? Jared Torres going to walk away in 2nd. 3rd place, Garrett Maines, another driver that has podiumed in both races. Look for him and Critchley to battle it out across the street for who's going to have the best overall finish. Walking away in 4th, William Alcola. 5th place goes to Bradley Wilson. Kyle Rochelle in 6th. 7th goes to Matt Trichler. Derek Fulton in 8th. 9th place, Pete Polini in 10th. Dale Adamson.
James Morgan will finish in 11th, followed by Philly Grant in 12th. Then it's going to be Andrew Navarro in 13th. 14th will go to Kernan Church. 15th to Ricky Howell Jr. Harvey in that position will finish, Randy Joyner will finish in the 16th spot, followed by Will Duvall, Mike Adamson, and Brett rolls the rundown in a wild, crazy race for the trucks on the 1.5 miles for the America's Home for Racing, Charlotte Motorspeedway. And now as it is Eastern time past midnight. After midnight, we're going to let it all hang out. I think that analogy can be true. Truck, yeah. Charlotte, yeah. Dirt, yeah. Coming up here to round out the inaugural Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triples presented by Phantom Graphics on the 3 Wide Racing Network. We are ready for the nightcap. Turn 3 Racing Network.
Welcome back once again, race fans. Thanks for sticking with us all night long here on the Turn 3 Racing Network for the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triple, sponsored by Phantom Graphics. It's been a pleasure calling the first 2 races of the evening. We've got one more in store. Wesley, it has been an absolute great show. It's, a little bit later on in the evening over here on the East Coast, but it has been a fine night of racing. That is absolutely for sure. Drivers shaking down the trucks before they get set to go into the qualifying session here over on the this quarter-mile clay track, the dirt track at Charlotte. And, man, this is going to be an interesting one to see who's been out here practicing and who can put down some fast flying laps.
Yeah, we're ready to go here at the dirt track at Charlotte Motorspeedway. Of course, across the way, we ran the Roval, we ran the big speedway for the first 2 races, and now we are set for the nightcap of the dirt here at the dirt track at Charlotte. The drivers getting ready to go, working their way around the racetrack, getting their hot laps practice sessions underway, if you will. Qualifying will be coming up here momentarily. And again, it should be an interesting race. We're seeing drivers already sliding away and some having problems working their way around the racetrack. And, driving on dirt, totally different world than running on the pavement. We're going to see that here tonight virtually.
And just like that, practice coming to an end, qualifying firing off just about 2 seconds ago. So we'll see who jumps out there in this open qualifying session. Looks like all the truck drivers, mad dash out there to the track. One driver going around already, Andrew Navarro. I tell you what, let's go take a look at Navarro in that 42 machine as he tries to make his way around the track. And as I've already said here, Wesley, I think this is going to be the biggest test of the night. A few may have thought that the Roval was going to be the hardest and the toughest to tame out of this triple threat here in the Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Outlaw eSports in partnership with Phantom Graphics. I think this is going to be the one that throws a lot of the drivers for a loop. I think this is the one that's going to take a lot of skill and a lot of effort to keep yourself up towards the front.
Yeah, qualifying is underway right now. These drivers getting the opportunity to see who can go to the top of the board right now. Again, I told you, Knoxville, Tennessee, originally from New York. Brett Rolls, a regular dirt racer at the top right there in the number 17. Derek Fulton right there hanging with him in second. Church, but not anymore. Garrett Maines to the top of the board.
Quick
and
time.
He's in truck number 1.
Quick time on the board, 1863 in Maines. Well, I thought he said he was a little concerned about this one. Or actually, no, that was the oval he was concerned about. That's right. Maines taking the top of the speed charts right now. Quick time, 1863. Rolls, sitting right there at an 1869. So not much separating those top 2. Then a little bit of a distance back to the third place runner right now. Duval sitting right there with an 1886. Still a lot of time left on the clock for these drivers to try to improve their starting position. And I think track position, believe it or not, is going to be pretty king and pretty premium here tonight.
Somebody in the chat box says, and I quote about Garrett Maines, the guy is a virtual freak of nature. LOL.
Oh, well, from what I've seen here tonight, I cannot argue. I could, but, why?
He's good. He's been really good so far. There's the man along beside of him, Curtis Critchley. We'll see what he can do now. He has not taken time yet. Curtis Critchley in the 54. He's on course now. We'll see what type of lap he puts down. Right now it's Garrett Maines, Brett Rolls, Kernan Church, Will Duvall, Derek Fulton in the top 5. Critchley now moving up to 7th. That's not bad for him in the 54.
And Critchley was the one saying that maybe this wasn't the one for him, but looking pretty sporty out there right now in 7th, running the bottom, believe it or not, running the bottom here at the dirt track at Charlotte in a truck is pretty hard to do. It's a lot easier, a lot more forgiving up at the top of the track in these trucks, and just as we just seen down on the bottom of the screen, I think we're going to see that quite often here throughout this last final race, Wesley. I think we're going to see some truck drivers go down to the bottom, think they've got it, and then hit the gas, and that rear end's just gonna come around. It's just gonna loop around. And I think we're gonna see a few self spins here through the course of this 50 lapper.
Yeah, we'll see what happens as you see them working their way around turns number 3 now. Coming back down to the front straightaway here this time by. There you see Curtis Critchley, again, the winner of the trucks on the big speedway. Race 1 winner was Garrett Maines, and he is right now as the fast qualifier. And then you got him wrecking here. But this is at the end of their qualifying lap. Poor Curtis Critchley, they took him out.
And unfortunately for these drivers, this is in the virtual world. So none of them are going to have to pay to fix all the damage and sheet metal on that one. And I'm sure they're happy about that part of it. Running over the tire there is Critchley going to have to be careful not to upset the suspension. Granted, they'll just reset, get another one. An Ode 17 with some contact with another driver. And I want to make a mention here, Wesley, on the chat side, we've got somebody saying about Maines, quick time in practice on dirt over the 2 dirt guys.
Yeah, that's Will Duvall, by the way. That's Will Duvall, the man right now from the board of the number 32 truck. So, yeah, that just shows you how good this guy is in that number 1. This young man, Garrett Maines, for sure, definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna have his work cut out for him now. I'm not saying to just give this to Garrett Maines, because I'm not. He's got some really good guys that, like we said, are dirt racers, like that 17 of Brett Rolls, like the machine of Will Duvall as well, like Kernan Church. He's no slouch on getting on the dirt. Derek Fulton as well. So, yeah, there's some dirt aces here that have had to put up with the proverbial pavement world the last 2 races. And now, welcome to my house. This should be fun.
Yeah, and it's always fun when you get a dirt racer in their own wheelhouse. You just see them thrive and shine. You can just tell by the attitude whether or not they're a real dirt guy, if that makes any sense. The real dirt guys, anytime they get a chance to mix it up on some dirt, they're the happiest they could absolutely be. I've got a few other I've got a few comparisons to what they're happier than, but we're, family friendly here, so we're not going to go there with it, even though we are way past the kids' bedtime. We do appreciate you letting them watch.
Turn 3 Racing Network After Dark. Look out, folk going around Maines at the wall. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Navarro with some contact, too.
They're wrecking each other like they're in the funny papers just during qualifying, okay?
Yeah, and I think some of it may be just drivers having a little bit of fun here, unwinding at the end of the night before they got to be serious one more time. But this is going to be quite a crazy little race. And I tell you what, while we've got a chance here in qualifying, there you see the 22 of Church. Why don't we go down there with one of the onboard cameras that we have? I tell you what, it actually looks like Critchley is going to be the driver that's carrying the onboard camera that's out there on track right now. Just take a look at this. Take a look at how crazy it is to get around this track in a truck.
You got to turn right to go left. You're seeing the way he's turning the wheel right to go in the corner, left in the center. Look at him doing it again. Yeah. That cliche from Cars, you got to turn right to go left. And the fabulous Hudson Hornet was talking to Lightning McQueen. Same thing here. You got to turn right to go left. Look at the way he's turning that wheel right, going down the straightaway in the corner. And he goes around. No, that's too far right.
It's too far right and back on the gas.
And then Pete Polini plows into him in the boot. Here's Will Duvall. Here's a guy that knows how to run the dirt. Okay? Watch the way he's wheeling it. Wheeling and dealing. Will Duvall from Mannington, West Virginia. Team Outlaw Motorsports entry. Well, okay. Let's see your hands, Will. By the way, he did get in an accident on his job the other day, and we are now calling him the One Thumb Wonder. So he is an amputee, so he does not have a thumb. So that might be why he's fighting one hand on the wheel right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, sawing like crazy on the wheel. I can't even keep up with his hands here. That's kind of rough to look at there for a minute. And, well, amputee, I understand.
Cheston Green, his quote, not mine, here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. I'm putting all my DraftKings money on Lee Morgan to excellence and bring home the W.
All right. Well,
I didn't say the other word, but I think you catch on to it, right? You know?
Absolutely.
Okay. He is right now 11th on the clock there, Cheston Green. So, yeah, we'll see if he can excellence.
Well, if he doesn't, then he may be.
We've been awake too long, okay? I've literally been announcing iRacing for 5 hours now.
Whew. Well, we've only got this one's going to be a fast, furious one for sure.
So.
I can pretty much guarantee you that one. I mean, these drivers getting around this track in less than 20 seconds, only 50 laps scheduled here in race number 3 tonight. No wall riding. I believe that was Navarro up there. He was up on top of that wall.
He was rim riding it.
Wow. Skateboarding it right there, huh?
Nobody got to pay double for that kind of action.
Right.
Look, it's going around there. Oh, wow. So I think qualifying is officially done. And what do you know? Garrett Maines from Powelton, Virginia, his number 1 Toyota, will be on the pole for Elliott Sadler eSports. We'll see what happens. It's go time. 50 laps. Truck, yeah. Dirt, yeah. Charlotte, yeah. Trick or treat, yeah. It's time for this race to get underway.
And drivers going to start getting into the trucks and heading to the starting grid. We'll wait for a few more of them to go ahead and pop in the trucks before we head down trackside for the for your starting lineup for tonight's race number 3 in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Phantom Graphics, live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thanks for joining us all night long, race fans. We do appreciate each and every one of you for staying with us all night long. And with that being said, let's give you your starting lineup for tonight's final event in the Trick or Treat Triples. Walking away with the pole once again, inside row, starting in that top spot, the one of Garrett Maines, just to his outside, the 17 of Brett Rolls, row number 2, the 22 of Karaman Church, followed by the 32 of Will Duvall, row number 3, the 7 of Derek Fulton, and the 54 of Curtis Critchley. Row number 4, Pete Polini, followed by Jared Torres, and rounding out your top 10 here in row number 5, Kyle Rochelle and Billy Gray.
All right, there's James Morgan, someone's pick. He'll start 11th. To his outside, Andrew Navarro in 42. Randy Joyner in the 13th position, followed by William McCullough in the 14th spot. Keep an eye on the 5. Matt Trichler will be in the 15th position. To the outside, Ricky Howell Jr. and Mr. Wilson will tag the back in position number 17. We are ready for the final race of the night in the inaugural Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triples presented by Phantom Graphics. It is going to be a couple of dirt regulars. From the outside, Brett Rolls, the Roval winner, one of the aces of pavement of iRacing. Garrett Maines, side by side, ready to come to the line. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race on the trucks, on the dirt. Charlotte, we're underway.
Green flag flies for the first time here at the dirt track, in contact already as they work their way back across the backstretch and back into, or I believe that was the backstretch. And Field
It
looked
was,
like they
it
were
was.
slowing down for a second, but no, stay. Oh, and now that
We are
caution
under
does
caution.
come out.
Yeah, we're under caution, man. What a save there for Kernan Church. Little scare there for a minute. Kernan Church there in the 22. And then Fulton got into him a little bit. They were 3 wide for a second. Kernan Church's friend, Curtis Critchley, also up there in that mix. And I don't think he started the caution, though. There's got to be a caution somewhere else on the racetrack. So we'll have to find it.
Not seeing what happened there. We'll see if we can't see. Looks like the 11 beaten banged up a little bit. So let's go back here, see if Billy Gray was
88's
involved
got
in
some
this one.
damage too, possibly. Let's see. Yeah. We're watching it here.
There you go.
Contact. Navarro got into the 11, and then the 11 got into the 88 of Joyner, and there you go. There's your caution.
And I mean, it wasn't significant contact, really, just contact at the right or wrong point, depending on which driver you are. So really no harm, no foul there. Typical dirt track racing, just a little bit of a slight contact and around the 11 went. So unfortunate for Billy. He's going to have to start, back at the tail end of the field. But
And Dave, I got a special announcement to make. In an effort to speed up the show, because of time, caution laps do count. We're happy about that. We're coming back to green, too.
Back to green already. Caution laps very quick here, but them not counting can speed things up. That is absolutely for sure. Now Rolls trying a high side hustle. Makes his way around Mains.
He got around Mains
Does it.
and up on the outside lane. Here comes Will Duvall. Couple of those dirt drivers I was telling you about. They're in their element now. Kernan Church is also doing really good as they work their way into turn number 1.
Yeah, and back up at the front. There you go. 2-3 car battle between Rolls, Mains, and Duval Church. Just behind them, Critchley slowly trying to creep his way back up inside the top 5 as he's just dropped a spot to Torres. Back at the front, though, Rolls still continuing to try to make that high side work. Catfishing at the bottom is Mains. Mains not being able to take it just yet. Duval high side in it as well. But these top 2 drivers, they have started to begin to gap Duval. Mains on the bottom, Rolls at the top. And he's rolling it off of the center down into 3. Oh my goodness, that was close.
And we're about to be 3 wide for the lead. Get on up there in the top shelf. He's up in the fluff. Will Duvall in the Angels Expressway where Grandpa hides the cookies from Grandma tonight because it's Halloween trick or treat. Off the corner into 2. Duvall now from the outside to the bottom, and up the racetrack goes Rolls. Here comes the man splitting him in the middle like hot dog between the bun. It's going to be a Duvall, and the caution is out.
A lot of great racing action here at the front of the field. Let's see if we can't back it up, see what happened. And it looks like maybe Alcala actually involved in this one.
Wow, yeah, Alcala and the other truck, is that Wilson? 151, yes it is.
I believe it is, yes, you're absolutely right. And more contact. Thought that was the end of it, but after initial contact, looks like there's some more.
How dare you?
Oh.
You tired of them dang things in the way, I tell you.
And
some people like them, some people don't.
And I tell you, if you hit them tires wrong, you will roll. You will roll. I mean, I won't tell you how I know, but I know.
It sounds like you know by experience.
I mean, I'm not going to say I've done it, but I mean, that like 5th or 6th time it started to be fun. And happy Halloween indeed. Crossing over from the night before to, it's Halloween, so happy Halloween to all you fans, friends, family, viewers out there watching us on the YouTube side of things. Want to wish you a happy Halloween as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, and green flag getting ready to fly once again here for the first time on Halloween for the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples. Sponsored by Phantom Graphics. Green flag back in the air as the 17 hits the gas, tries to drive away from the one of Maines. Maines hugging that outside wall. Here comes Duval hugging the bottom, catfishing. Oh, crossover. Maines goes to the front.
And there's contact in the back.
Big contact.
In the back. They are wrecking in the back behind the top 5. Look at this. Keep an eye on these trucks right here. The lime green machine. There's Wilson and the other machine of Joyner. And oh my goodness, they're still wrecking in front of them. But you would call that a secondary caution.
Wow. Big time trouble for a lot of drivers. Whew. Things getting a little bit heated over here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Tempers typically do flare and fly off when you hit the dirt tracks. Any of you fans that have been to the local dirt tracks, you know what I mean at times. Things can get pretty crazy. And looks like these drivers throwing caution to the wind and just kind of sending it right now.
So a lot of racing left to go, too. I mean, I'm telling you.
Yeah, still a good amount of racing left to do. Chevy Silverado pace truck lights will go out this time by, so we will go back green flag racing in just one more lap. And Maines has showed some skill here with that crossover running real high and then kind of diamonded it right in the center of the corner of 1 and 2 and made his way to the race lead by the time he made it about halfway down the backstretch. So look for the 17 of Rolls to try to stay a little bit closer here on this restart. Try to not let that one get away now that he has control of the race. Chevy Silverado pace truck down and away. Green flag flies once again here at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Back on the restart, it is Maines on the outside lane, pulling him away to the top side. Probably the best restart he has had this whole race where he's not been in competition with anyone else. Rolls is there. Top shelf is Church. Here comes Duval. Those 4 trucks, 3 trucks now, trying to close it on Maines. He'll pull away from him by about 3 truck lengths on the outside in the fluff top shelf off of 2.
And all of these truck drivers way up the track in 1 and 2, all pushing the cushion right there, almost scrubbing that right rear right along the wall's edge there. You see it coming right at you, almost right on that wall, leaning that right rear quarter out there. The one of Maines continues to lead the race, has a 1.2 second race lead over Brett Rolls. Then you'll find Karaman Church sitting in the 3rd spot, Will Duval sitting in 4th, and Curtis Critchley rounding out your top 5, 6th place. Billy Gray, Andrew Navarro sitting in 7th, Kyle Rochelle in 8th, 9th place, James Morgan, and rounding out your top 10, Pete Polini.
30 laps to go. Now make it 29 to go on the dirt here at Charlotte. The nightcap. It's Garrett Maines out in front. Brett Rolls in 2nd. Kernan Church to 3rd. Will Duval was in 4th. And Critchley in the top 5. For the most part, it's between 1 and 54 for the overall points of this trick or treat triples. And the caution coming back out again.
Yeah, caution flag flying once again. Let's take a look at it. I believe that the 11 may have been involved in this latest one once again.
Navarro. Oh, man.
Yeah, Navarro in the 11 and the 5 spinning back off in the distance, trying to whoa up and avoid anything. He actually gets on the binders a little bit too hard, and Alcala going to go around for a spin as well. So that will bring us under caution once again. We'll catch back up live with your race leader, the one of Garrett Maines. And it's a familiar spot for this man. He's been at the podium already once tonight, finishing 3rd in the 2nd race. Now finds himself at the helms of the pack here in the 3rd and final race in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples, Wesley. So, I mean, you think he's got what it takes to wrap this thing up, and if he does, I mean, that's going to be 3 wins basically for him all night long. I mean, he'll walk away with the Roval win, he'll walk away with the prize money for this win, as well as the overall best finish win. So when we get to caution once again, we'll see what your thoughts on that are. If he can walk away and make that happen and balloon his paycheck a little bit more as a Chevy Silverado.
I don't think it's over yet, and Critchley's in the top 5. Ready for the restart. Here they come at a turn 4. We'll see what goes on. Maines pulls away. Rolls, though, right there. And as I told you, Dave, these guys behind them are a couple of dirt aces. They are no slouches as we got trouble. Turn number 2. Truck spinning around. I think it's Pellini.
And looking at it, I believe the 43 of James Morgan may be involved in this one.
Well, there goes your pick. Somebody in the chat box was picking Morgan.
Yep, Morgan goes around, and that's it. That's all she wrote on that one. So he'll get it refired, turn back around, rejoin the rest of the field. Not really any damage there. So none the worse for the wear for Morgan, but he will find himself way back behind the pack, basically in the last spot.
For sure. Yeah, they're definitely. And by the way, we are halfway, or just after halfway. 24 remaining here in race number 3. Well. Maines trying to, again, be the overall winner. Race 1 winner of the Roval. He finished 3rd in the trucks, which he told us he didn't think he would do well in the truck race. But mind you, before he had his bad luck, he was in contention to do something there. And then you see him out in front leading now in this dirt truck race at Charlotte. So, I don't know, man. I got a feeling it's just not over yet, Dave. It ain't over yet. I got a feeling they're going to start getting a little antsy and impatient, and some good contenders are going to get tore up here in the process, I believe, as we get ready for the restart.
Well, a few of these drivers, I'm sure, may not necessarily mind if maybe Maines was, don't want to necessarily say taken out, but didn't walk away with a ton of money by the end of this thing here tonight. I can assure you that one. Some of these drivers want some money as well, but Maines on the gas and away he goes back to the top of the track. More drivers trying to catfish, not really working at this point in time. Track not really worked in just yet, but back to the bottom. Catfishing through 3 and 4. Maines goes to the bottom, and now let's see if he goes back to the bottom or stays up at the top. Looks like he's going to stay at the top in 1 and 2, and caution flag once again on the track. Yellow on the track. We'll have to take a look at timing and scoring, trying to see and figure out what happened here. Looks like, not really seeing anything here with this one. Possibly Derek Fulton may have been involved.
There you go.
Oh.
Fulton's involved. Pellini's involved. The 11 got caught up in it. Is that Wilson? Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, and just oh my goodness.
Oh, it's Pete Pellini. I believe I can fly.
He doesn't have to believe, he can. There's proof right here. We'll see it right here. There's some contact right there, and boom, away we go. Well, just like that.
2 of Ricky Howell, and from there on, it started that calamity from here. Man.
Yeah, and I mean, just like that, look, a lot of drivers driving off from that wreck, but their trucks have seen better days, smoking and sputtering back to pit lane as we watch the field make their way back around this track under caution. Now under 20 laps to go. Does anybody have what it takes to dethrone the man at the top spot right now, the one of Garrett Maines? He's trying to secure, as I already said, basically 3 paychecks if he can walk away with another race win. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to do that. Is the Chevy Silverado pace truck going to duck off this time by, and we'll set to go back green flag racing field. Heads into 3 and 4. Wait for it. Green flag flies once again as Garrett Maines hits the loud pedal, sails off into 1 and 2. Now battle is between Duval and Bowles for second. Here comes the 22 of Church looking to put his name in the hat. Critchley, he's no slouch, running in 5th as they are now.
Working their way down the front straightaway, 16 laps to go. Here's Duval trying to reel in on that 17 of Brett Rose. Couple of dirt aces, if you will, as they work their way off of turn number 2, back down the back straightaway. Well, William Ocala gets a little loose there a moment in front of the machine of Wilson in the 151. Derek Bolton kicking off up on the outside lane, dusting himself off and getting back on the proverbial high horse to try to get back through the field, if you will. Meanwhile, this is inside the top 10 for 8th and 9th. Ocala gets a little loose again in front of those other trucks. There's Jared Torres, runner-up in race number 2 here at Charlotte. He now gets ready to try to make a run on him, and we have under 15 laps to go. Back to turn 1.
Yeah, and with under 15 laps to go, the man in second trying to run down Garrett Maines, but Brett Rolls not being able to do so. He's sitting still under a second from the race leader, but not able to track down this man right here. Once he's got to the front, he has stepped away on each and every restart, and caution flies once again here at the dirt track at Charlotte. We'll try to take a look, see what happened here. Looks like maybe the 14 of Kyle Rochelle involved. We'll take a look back, see what happened, and no, looks like he's just kind of hanging out on pit road. So I believe that may go to Alcala for this latest race incident.
Yeah, another caution coming out there, and there's William Ocala again from Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where he's from. It says Mid-South, but he's actually from Little Rock, Arkansas, and what a tough break for him in the number 5. So, oh, man, this seems like the race that we thought would go by really quickly, but the fact of the matter is we've had had a long string of cautions here, and we got 11 laps to go.
Yeah, and I mean, to no fault of anyone's, seems like the track just a bit of a handful for these drivers right now in these trucks. It just looks like just a little bit too much grip, and in the rear of the cars just aren't hooking up the way that they need them to, and that's just catching a few of these drivers off guard. And, yeah.
Yeah, track is very, very tacky, so definitely has not slicked off like it, preferably would. There's a couple of dry spots, areas on this track in a couple of places, but not, for the most part, a very tacky substance. And you're seeing these guys slip sliding away like the lyrics of the song by Paul Simon. They're doing the same thing here in their virtual trucks here, as we are going to have a 10-lap shootout, 40 laps down, 10 remaining. Maines and Rolls on the front row again. Duval, Church, Critchley there. No change in the top 5. It's go time, though. I think the rev limiter is going to be pushed to an over-patience model now as they go back to green into 1.
Yeah, and I believe patience going to be put to the test, too. Oh, a contact!
Whoa,
3 wide for second. Caution flag flies behind that 3-wide battle. Oh, my goodness. And I believe Derek Fulton may have been involved in this latest one. We'll take a look here, riding with the 7 right now, getting a little sideways. There's the contact up into the 2. More drivers to the inside. The 19 gets collected. He's smoking. That 19 machine has seen some better days. And just like that, we find ourselves back under caution once again here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Just a handful of laps going to be remaining here. Almost a green-white checkered without it being a green-white checkered when we actually get back to green flag racing. Did that make any sense?
It did. It made a lot of sense. We'll try to get back to green flag racing when we go back to green flag racing. So it does. It makes sense.
Okay. It sounded really wrong when I said it out loud. Oh my goodness! I tell you what, almost 1 o'clock in the morning here, and it has been a long day. No excuses or anything like that, but 10 hours of work, 3 hours of wrestling practice. I don't know. I'm working in on what's this, about hour 3.5? I'm a tired individual.
Yeah, I've actually got, like I told you whenever we were on commercial break, man, I've actually got a real race I got to broadcast for Speed 51 TV tomorrow, at Kentucky, at Richmond, Kentucky. I got to get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to head on down there and or head up there from North Carolina there for that race. But I'm going to finish this one out for you. 5 laps to go. Here comes Brett Rolls on the inside. Main's in the wall, bouncing off the wall a little bit. Let that be your friend. Let the wall be your friend. Working on trying to get around it here. By the way, overtime rules apply in dirt as well here, Dave. And we're down to 4 laps to go in a regular green flag run.
And just like that, look at Duval throwing it down into the corner.
Yeah.
Trying the slide job, not going to work just yet. The 17 looking to come back up and take the... Oh, caution. Flag flies once again. And I believe that is the 5 involved in this one. And that's going to put us in a green-white checkered situation. But I believe, if I'm seeing this one correctly, I believe that latest caution coming out after the 5 having some issues sliding off the track and then stuck up on one of those tires. That is not a very good feeling. Kind of almost like a ha-ha, look at you moment there for the 5. Tough break. Can't get away. You can't go anywhere. You're just stuck there.
That's right, for sure. Hey, by the way, before we go any further, I know we're getting ready to go into overtime. I think we're going to have a shot at least 1 or 2, 3 attempts. By the way, the pavement truck race on the 1.5 mile went for 3 shootouts, overtimes before the race was decided. But I was going to just say that truly a pleasure to be able to work with you tonight. Thank you to Roger and everybody at the Turn 3 Racing Network for opening up your mic and letting me be able to join the race broadcast with y'all. Thank you to Derek Fulton again for the invitation. And Darkside Dave, it was a pleasure to work with you as well. Hopefully we might be able to work with each other again in the future.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Reach out and hit me up. We'll try to work out some things, get things going, things of that nature. But the pace truck back down and away. We'll try to get this thing wrapped up with our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Can these drivers pull it off? Back on the loud pedal is Maines, and away we go. Green flag back in the air. Popsicle sticks for that one machine digging down on the bottom. Here comes Church. He's getting shoved into that inside wall. We continue. Green flag and caution once again.
Overtime 2 coming up. Got a caution on the speedway. Oh my goodness. Wow. These guys wrecking each other like they're in the funny papers.
And I'm
on
not.
The clay. Look at this. Was it the 11?
I'm not. Oh, the 151. Wilson involved.
Again. But that's what I was talking about. Look at the 11 again. It bounced it off the wall.
Oof. A tough break for a lot of these drivers. And remember, I alluded to it at the beginning of this third event here in this long broadcast here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And I do want to take a moment to say thank you to each and every one of you that have stopped by, whether you've been a constant viewer all night long or if you have just popped in and out, seeing how things are going. We do appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by. If you haven't already, I tell you what, give these drivers a thumbs up because they have put on an absolute show all night long. Kind of lets them know you appreciate everything that they've done out there on the track, across the 3 tracks nonetheless here tonight. So go ahead and shoot these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the Cave in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth, or anybody else back at the home offices, or my good buddy Wesley right here joining us once again here tonight. We do appreciate each and every one of you coming out and supporting not just us but the drivers we bring to you. Great racing action about to get back underway. Second attempt at a green-white checkered finish here at the dirt track at Charlotte. The one of Garrett Mays will try to get another great restart and walk away to victory lane on the gas once again. And Mays gets away from the field. Green flag back at the dirt track at Charlotte.
You know, if this was a pavement race, you would, oh, trouble in the middle of the pack. It's Fulton going around. Caution out, double trouble. Happy Halloween. A shootout spooktacular for the triples. A third attempt. 2 races in a row for a green-white checker. Navarro gets into Derek Fulton. He got the short end of the stick, but was able to continue along. But from there on, the caution had already failed. We had a triple overtime in the truck race on the 1.5 miles, and now it's only fitting on this Halloween night. Circles to the right, no to the left on the clay at Charlotte to battle it out one more time in overtime. This is it.
Yeah,
It all comes down to this.
This is it. This is the big one. This is the money one. This is when it matters. This is going to be what it's all for here. And it looks like Garrett Mays, barring any craziness or mishaps, misfortune, may be able to slot himself home as a 2-time race winner in a night of just 3 races. And that will give him also that overall best points finish title. So he could be walking away a very happy, very, not necessarily rich, but very, very happy race car driver by the end of the night. Field now gonna get the 1 to go. We'll get set to go back. Green flag racing this time by Wesley. Man, I don't know what to expect. I can expect we'll hear some beating and banging. We may very well see it. But will Mays be able to hold on to that top spot?
If they wreck this time, race is official. Whether they take the white flag or not, wreckers or checkers, this is it. And again, Mains pulls away. Rolls will change up his move and go from the inside to the outside on the groove. And there's contact with Kernan Church. Critchley now moves into 4th. Trucks driving in the bottom. Joyner on the inside, and that's it. Caution is out. Race is over now, Dave. And it's Garrett Mains sweeping the entire triples. He won race 1. He will finish 3rd in race 2. He will win here in race number 3. And in addition to that, he is the overall points champion unless some craziness happens here that prevents that from happening for him.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just a testament to this young man's racing ability. You alluded to it multiple times throughout the race evening, and there you go. It's been on full display for you here tonight. Dominated the first race at the Roval. Came in 3rd after a good recovery there on the oval, and now a pretty dominating performance at the end of this 3rd race. So big shout out, big congratulations to the driver of that one machine and his entire crew. And Wesley, man, once again, I appreciate everything you've done here tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure calling all 3 of these great action-packed races with you. And yeah, you know, who knows? Look forward to making up a few races with you, possibly down the road. We'll see how it all works out. And yeah, just glad you could be here tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Certainly a pleasure. I enjoyed working with you, Darkside Dave. Thank you again to everybody at the Turn 3 Racing Network for the hospitality. Hopefully our paths will cross again in the near future. And again, big thanks to Derek Fulton and everybody involved with the Outlaw eSports and Phantom Graphics for inviting me to work this event. And again, a fun time, a good night. And I got to try to get some sleep. I got to go to Kentucky in the morning.
All right, my man. Well, we once again we appreciate you, and thanks for everything you did here tonight. And you head off and take care of your business, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later, I'm sure.
Not a problem. It's been fun. Hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast, and stick tuned for awesome racing dirt pavement on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
All right. Well, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for just a small, and I do mean small, brief commercial break, get things set up for our post-race interview. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. back track side here at the dirt track at Charlotte as our final race number 3 is in the books. That's all she wrote. Excuse me, I do apologize about that. My goodness. That one's in the books. Nothing left to be done here except get to your post-race interviews. So I tell you what, let's see if we can't catch up with the driver finishing in the 3rd spot here tonight. Let's see if we can't catch up with driver of that 32 machine. Let's see if we can't catch up with Will Duval with his 3rd place finish here tonight at the dirt track at Charlotte. Will, how you doing?
Oh, doing all right. Having a lot of fun here.
Excuse me, sorry, I got to get a drink or something here, choking up here. Great racing action out there on the dirt track. Just tell us a little bit about your evening and how you felt through the course of not just this race, but the previous 2.
Well, previous race I felt good, but I'm not much of an asphalt driver. I went out to help fill the field and have some fun with everybody, and that was what I did. And about 10 laps to go in that race, my headset died on me, so I had no audio or anything. I kept missing the shift and just kept dropping like a rock on the restart, so I just went ahead and pulled it off and got ready for this race here. And then come out here for this race, man, I felt great. Hopped in a server. I was top of the board at first, and then Garrett Maines, man, it seems like no matter where he shows up, he takes quick time. This dude's a heck of a talent.
Well, man, you were one of the fastest drivers here tonight on the dirt. You struggled a little bit on the asphalt, as you kind of said. Not really the asphalt type, but the level of talent definitely showing up over here on the clay here tonight at the dirt track at Charlotte. Man, was a pleasure watching you all race long. Before we let you go, though, Will, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of the car?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I got to thank, first and foremost, I got to thank World of Thunder, eSports League, Steve McMillian, everybody over there. We put on a heck of a league at top of the charts in leagues. And then got to thank LSR TV. They sponsor me, help me out, get me a lot of places financially. And then Outlaw Ball School of Dirt, Brent's Bates, and all the guys over at Team Outlaw Motorsports, my drivers over there, man, they back me up wholeheartedly. They're always there to come and practice with me whenever I need to practice. And it just all in all, great team. So much appreciation to everybody there.
All right, my man. Well, once again, congratulations on a great podium finish here in the 3rd and final race here in the Trick or Treat Triples. Look forward to catching up with you here in the next coming weeks. And, man, once again, congratulations. A great race night.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Some few final words from the driver finishing in the 3rd position here in race number 3 in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples, sponsored by Phantom Graphics. That's going to leave us with trying to catch up real quick. Let's see if we can't catch up. The driver walking away in 2nd here today from the dirt track at Charlotte, the 17 of Brett Rolls. How you doing? Is Dave in the booth? You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. How you doing?
Doing all right, considering, pretty late night here at the dirt track at Charlotte, walking away with 2nd place. How was the car all night, and were you happy with that finish?
Yeah, for the most part. I wasn't expecting Garrett to come in and, just put a whooping on us like he did for being a primarily asphalt guy that I know him for. But overall, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of a lot of good battles with Will and Garrett there towards the end.
Well, man, there was a few times out there that the battling was pretty close. A little bit of beating and banging, but such as at a dirt track, and you had that thing wound up and you kept it moving to the front. Just not quite enough to get it at the end. But, man, you were using that dirt track experience to put on a show, and that you did. Congratulations on a great 2nd place before we let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening, though, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of the car?
Yeah, I got my whole team, Vanderpool Racing, watching the stream right now. Got to give a huge shout out to those guys. Got to thank you for the broadcast. Got to thank Derek for giving me the message today and letting me know this was going on. I'm completely oblivious as to the whole asphalt side of things, and I know that's primarily what these guys do. And pretty cool to come out and run with them guys. We had a pretty solid truck at the oval track. Just got caught up in some chaos there, and Lady Luck not really showing her hand on the oval side, but pretty good to come back into P2. Congrats to Garrett on the win again. Other than that, just got to thank my family, my friends, and everybody watching.
All right, my man. Well, once again, congratulations. It was a fun night to watch you all night long, and a great way to end the night here. I know second isn't where you want it to finish, but second, nothing to hang your head down about. So congratulations once again, and we'll look forward to catching up with you a little bit later in the future.
All righty, thank you. You guys have a good one.
All right, there you have it. That was the driver that walked away in second. And I tell you what, the man himself, the man of the hour, the man walking away with 2 race wins here tonight in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples. And that is Garrett Manns walking away as the race winner yet again.
Yeah, definitely an eventful one. I thought there at the beginning, Brett was hanging with me. He was definitely making me work for it. I knew once I got to the lead, though, I found a grip strip down on the bottom where the moisture was, and I don't think he found that. So as soon as I got that, I knew I could get clear, and I was really fast up on the cushion there. And once I figured out where to run, it was definitely a game changer, especially when the cushion came in on the top. And 3 and 4, I knew that was probably the way to seal the deal as soon as I got running up there. But I was definitely getting nervous there with all the cautions there at the end. I think people were getting more than trying to get more than they should have, and it was causing some wrecks. But overall, it was a lot of fun racing with Brett there and Will. Everybody was giving and taking up there, and it was a blast.
Well, Garrett, I wanna take a moment to say thank you. This is the first time I've been able to broadcast with you in the broadcast, and you put on a show each and every race, all 3 races here tonight. It's been a pleasure to watch you, my man. You are absolutely on fire here tonight. And my biggest question is, where are you spending all this money, man? You got a lot of money out there tonight. 2 race wins, then you're gonna walk away with the purse for the best average finish. So, where are we going to dinner?
Well, I'm gonna wait a few more days and wait for the market to come up and put it into an investment, because there ain't nothing for me to spend the money on, to be honest with you. I ain't buying much right now, but I don't know. Definitely probably gonna just save it up. Definitely enjoyed running these races. It was a lot of fun racing with these guys again. It's been a few months for some of them, but definitely glad to have gotten the points win there. Me and Curtis were coming down to the wire. I told him, tiebreaker, no pressure. It was fun.
All right. Well, smart on the track as well as off. Congratulations with a great race night. It was a pleasure to watch you here all night long in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples, walking away with 2 race wins and the overall points win for the evening. So, Garrett, I'm sure you've given them already, but if you forgot anybody, now's the time. You want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody else on the side of the car?
I'm sure the sponsors appreciate the 3rd shout-out of the night. Definitely got to thank Smithfield, 101 CBD, Sim Seats, Strickland Hardy, Lennox, guys at ESC, Elliott Outlaw eSports have been putting on just so much work into the Cup cars and the trucks, and now we're going to be putting it into the Xfinity cars for Pro. Definitely think we got a good shot, and everybody's been pouring their heart out into it. So really looking forward to see how that goes and putting it all together.
All right, my man. Well, once again, congratulations. Great race evening, and we'll look forward to catching up with you maybe a little bit later on down the road.
Yes, sir. Hopefully.
All right, there you go. There you have it. Some few parting words from your race winner here from the dirt track at Charlotte, Garrett Maines. And I tell you what, whew, what a race. What a night. My goodness. And oh, looks like producers back in the background, they're ready to run through your unofficial race results for race number 3 here in the Outlaws Trick or Treat Triples. Walking away with the race win here at the dirt track at Charlotte, the one of Garrett Maines. The second place finisher here tonight, Brett Rolls. Third place goes to Curtis Critchley. Walking away in fourth here tonight, Karen and Church. Andrew Navarro gonna finish in fifth. Sixth place will go to Will Duval. Bradley Wilson will finish in seventh. Eighth place gonna go to Randy Joyner. Ninth to Jared Torres. Derek Fulton will round out your top 10. Ricky Howe gonna see himself out the door in 11th, and 12th place goes to Billy Gray. William Alcola has seen some better days, gonna walk away in 13th here tonight. 14th to James Morgan. 15th Matt Trichler. Kyle Rochelle gonna walk away in 16th. Pete Polini gonna finish in 17th, and that will round out the field for tonight's third event here in the Outlaw eSports Trick or Treat Triples, brought to you by Phantom Graphics, live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. My goodness, race fans, it was one heck of a night, one heck of a show. These drivers laid it all out on the line, left and right at the Roval for 20 laps. Then they headed to the fast high banks at Charlotte Motorspeedway for another 50, then cross the street, cross Highway 29, right here to the dirt track at Charlotte for another 50 laps. Was a great race a night here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We appreciate each and every one of you joining us out there on the YouTube side of things. And with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends. We'll see you again. Once again, I am Darkside David the Cave here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth. If you haven't already, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell on the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Great racing action for you across the spectrum here on the iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. Well, that's it. That's all she wrote. We'll see you again, my friends, here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And until then, stay safe, stay loved. That's right. I'm out.